White opens with, "Your hair is wondrously gorgeous, but how big are your tits?" Going straight into their pathetic attempt at Riz with a mistake. Everyone knows that you should never compliment the body too soon, and it's a D1 Gooner move, especially before asking for the opponent's age. Black responds with, "Thank you so much, and I'm so you kinda weird, capitalizing off White's mistake and showing them how important age verification is. This excellent move captures a valuable piece from White and punishes the opponent well. You have to respect it. I know there's a hot ass body connected to that hair. White folds under absolutely zero pressure and doubles down on their creepy antics despite being completely aware of their age. It's honestly enough evidence to hand out a criminal move, and you just know this is going to be a good video. Well, I guess bad depending on who you are. Black asks, "How old are you?" raising something that we all need to know because we haven't even been told that yet. Who knows, maybe I gave White the weirdo tag way too soon. Black plays a great move by trying to get this information out of their opponent. 39, yes, I am officially doubling down on everything I've said about White so far. This guy high-key deserves to be put behind bars, and anyone who disagrees with me respectfully deserves the same fate too. Actually, not respectfully, that respect. I'm grading this a crazy blunder as it throws the game and gives White a chance to give their checkmate attack. Fortunately, they take it and hit back with, "You're weird, I'm for," pushing back against White in a brilliant move from Black. This begins the checkmate attack, and they were definitely in attendance for their internet safety classes, and the teacher needs a raise. White hits back with, "But you're not stupid. People can be 30 and dumb as hell, and I don't know what bro's trying to get onto. If this is somewhere where you're justifying that age is just a number, I am making sure they get checkmated within the next few moves. For now, this is just a good move though, because who knows where it could go." Just as curious as me, Black asks, "Okay, what's your point?" praying further and further to try and get some English out of their opponent. Black plays a great move here, trying to make White play something like a blunder by setting up a very tempting trap. Whether White falls for it or not though, only time will tell. White simply replies with, "Age doesn't matter," which is a blunder that makes the game literally impossible to recover from. I am the admin of this rodeo, and I have now made it my life goal to make sure White's elo plummets to the negatives. I'm not even gonna ban bro, I'm gonna make him suffer loss after loss after loss until he eventually decides to quit the game on his own terms. Yeah, it does, I'm creepy pet. Finally, the word that I was too scared to drop has finally come from this game. Black comes out with a brilliant move, giving White the label you and I both know our White player deserves. They can deny it all they want, but there's enough evidence for us from this game alone. Who knows how many other gambits they have played. White claims your loss, but there's absolutely no loss on Black's end here. The only thing they're going to walk out of this game without that they started with is their innocence, and this isn't something you can steal with pride. Definitely an inaccuracy from White because it just isn't true. Black closes with, "Okay, skull emoji, it seems like you're lost considering you wanted this," stating the obvious in a good move, but sometimes the obvious is exactly what is needed to complete a checkmate on an opponent. This is for sure an example of that, and Black walks away with the added elo as a result. Next, White starts us off with, "LOL, what game? Sugar cubes?" clearly starting us in the mid-game rather than the opening. Based on the knowledge that we have, which is absolutely nothing, I'm gonna give this a book move and move on. Black hits back with, "Unison League. It's a stupid anime RPG, but hey, it's fun. Also, why are you calling me Sugar Cubes? Holy shit, I'm an actual dumbass. I thought Sugar Cubes was the name of the game and White was asking about it, not a pet name." All of this makes so much more sense now, and Black plays a miss by not understanding. There's no way he doesn't know that it's Riz, considering he knows it's a nickname. White defends their pet name by replying, "Why not, love? You really are adorable," giving some perfect romance and a great move. It's wholesome, it isn't creepy, and it's enough to make any man smile, so there's literally nothing I can complain about with the setup of this game. Apparently I can't say the same for Black though. You don't even know what I look like. Black plays a curveball into the mix because all forms of Riz automatically become creepy if you don't know who they are. I'm starting to see White as the bad guy, and it's because of Black's parry move that I was able to come to this natural conclusion. In desperation to provide some sort of defense, White plays adorable is not a physical attribute, could be, but usually it's behavior, and "you are adorable, I love your texts." For some reason, they make me smile, and no matter how much I try to dislike White, it isn't possible. I can't see a single multiverse where they have any creepy intentions, and Black would be stupid to not accept this woman's love. Her move was definitely an excellent move, and I hope she knows I'm always available and would be way miles better at Unison League than the Gooner being Black. Next, "Slurp you up, my belly getting huge while you slosh around in my stomach, stretching it out. What would you do then? Answer me." Okay, what the actual have I just read? I can only thank the screenshotter for cutting the first message short because I can tell there were definitely a lot more lines before those two. White opens with an outrageous move using a forbidden word in text chess Riz within their first move of a pawn. Black commands, dude, get the fuck out of my DMs, and as much as I want to praise this move, it isn't wrong, it's principle. I can't. It's a miss because there were just so many better moves on the table, with the best move being a very accessible block button. I don't get girls who beg guys to leave their DMs when all they have to do is tap the one big red button. It exists for a reason, it's not just something to look at. In our asterisks, White responds with, I rub my belly sloshing around with someone inside, and then outside the asterisks they add, maybe that would convince you. What the hell, man? I need to go out and just throw up real quick because this shit is not for the weak. I can vividly picture this player tipping their fedora after saying this, and for that reason alone, it has to go down as a blunder. Go back to the kittens on Discord because the streets are not for you. Black hits back with, ma'am, I do not want to be involved in your weird ass vor RP. Please just leave, using their manners but also holding firm ground. It's a good method when dealing with an opponent like this, but you shouldn't be, usually way more aggressive with it, making this an inaccuracy. Politeness does not count to sex role players. In asterisk, White replies, my belly gurgles as I open my May, swallowing your head as I start to swallow you, and then out of asterisk, you must be so tasty. After being politely asked to pack their bags and leave, Black has tripled down on their creepy shit. The blunder cannot be excused for, and it might be time to get a restraining order. Black does the next best thing and responds with, blocked, stop trying to RP with kids, playing the best move, which most girls are too scared to play for some reason. If anyone has felt lost when playing a game like this, just remember the existence of this button for the love of God. Next, Are You Busy Now is White's basic opponent, but it's basic for a reason and a popular book move. It sets up follow-up moves perfectly and starts a conversation softly, so yeah, I only have praise for it. Black steps back and states, I'm how old are you? In another book move. Make sure the ages both you and your opponent legally match is very opponent for winning games of text chess without getting banned, and as a minor, Black does a very good job of alerting their opponent before things get too late. They win the game of sportsmanship. White replies with, I'm 10 years older than you, I'm 26, I can tell you a secret, setting themselves up for failure like a dumbass. The best move was obviously to abort the game, but instead they thought it would be a good idea to send a suggestive text. Either bro wants to go to jail to have some fun dropping the soap, or they're an outright nonce. Blunder. Naturally wanting to know the secret, Black asks, what is the secret, egging their opponent on in a move which can only be described as 4D chess. To us, there has never been a more obvious trap, but White is obviously desperate enough to give Black the creepy answer they want to get the legal people involved. Traps can never get above a great move because of the chance of failure, but this one is a great one. I like you and I thought I want it, but I see that you won't be able to. 3 sad emojis. I hope I don't tell anyone if, please, but at least I would like to know something about you. Holy blunder. White literally told themselves that their opponent is not allowed to have any love interest back, but instead of thinking to back away, they instead to make this vocal. It concerns me so much how much these PDF files come to their conclusion, but at least we get some entertainment, I guess. Black then claims, I am not going to tell anyone. What do you want to know about me? Giving us back-to-back blunders in a situation where there were so many ways to get the checkmate. In my entire time making text chess videos, I don't think I've ever seen a worse move than this. The win wasn't even on a silver platter, it was on several golden platters, but Black still fumbled and gave White a chance. White replies, okay, in a boring move. There isn't really much to say, but considering the performance Black gave in the endgame, the win unfortunately goes to the villain. Next, White asks, are you fine with questions? And while this is weird as you have to give them credit for asking before acting. There are a lot of text chess players who would not do this and would dive in there like a moth flying towards light, or I guess darkness. Good move. Black gives a one-word answer with no, making their opinions clear and holding up a massive red sign for their opponent. Now, if White had any respect for Black, they would abort the game immediately, but something tells me this is not going to be the case. Good move. White ignores Black's move entirely and asks, when did you last move? Oh, all the time. No, for real though, this miss treats Black's defense like a worthless piece of shit and crushes it immediately. For ethical reasons alone, this is a mistake and hopefully Black doubles down on fighting against it. Go to hell is Black's response, and it goes down as an excellent move because it delivers. The best thing to call it is, you guessed it, and sometimes being called it gives them a reality check. Unfortunately, this is not the case here, and we're in for a real match. White plays dropping a one-word insult that's more cliche than talking about the weather, and a mistake. Calling someone a doesn't provide any sort of tactical edge and only embarrasses you and damages the elo next to your name. It's a loss on both fronts, making white look weaker than the Nazis towards the end of 1945. Choosing to let their mouth run back, black calls their opponent a stinking little shit, which is far more original than casually using the word. This clearly isn't black's first rodeo, and they are a seasoned veteran in the insulting industry. I'm not sure that this is a title I'd want, but it's definitely a title nonetheless. Great move. White hits back with your is take a shower, pulling an Uno reverse, but the most unkept one in existence. You can't just steal someone's smell insult and add a little twist on it expecting nobody to notice. It's such an obvious inaccuracy. Mirroring an opponent's move is never cool and almost never works with this instance, just leaving more room for black to attack back. There are all sorts of gaps in white's defense now, and they look easy to penetrate, although they probably want to be penetrated. Yeah, that's why you're asking questions like that, right? Disgusting piece of fuck. Anyone who thinks of you would feel sick. Black goes all in on white this time with a brilliant move capturing the queen and getting close to checkmate. They raise a very good point in the start because why would white want their masturbation routine if it smelled? Just another flaw of many in white's play. White tries to counter with, anyone who smells your will be sick, take a shower, and I think there's an echo in the room. Bro tried to recycle their last inaccuracy and thought it wouldn't instantly turn into a blunder. I get reusing a good method, but reusing a move that literally got graded in inaccuracy, the next move, is pure stupidity. Asshole 50-year-old fat lonely man sitting alone texting minors is black's win of a response. This excellent move delivers a checkmate and sends a massive creep back into lovies with people of a lower elo and hopefully not of a lower age. Next, hi pretty last, how you're doing? Mind if I talk to you for a while? I find you attractive, heart eyes emoji. Can you give a try with being my online companion? White plays the NPC gambit because what real person asks to be an online companion rather than, a friend? This shit sounds straight out of Roblox and should stay there. Mistake. Black states, I don't like men, which is completely valid. I do. Don't, obviously, but I can relate. For real though, there isn't anything bad that can be said about this good move, but of course, white is gonna find a way. Why are you wasting your nutrient? You need to be by a man. Even if she was into men, this statement alone from white would turn her gay. I wouldn't be surprised if a few girls watching this video have found their change in their sexual identity by now, because it would make total sense. These men are a social experiment and have managed to conjure up another blunder. Black replies with "this is why" and using a pointing up emoji, turning white into a case study rather than a person in a brilliant move, because it's exactly what they should be. Animal testing, we should just round up the people from tech chess videos and experiment on them instead. I'm convinced we're meeting messages from a different species. Wow, interesting. I also get that feeling in my Discord, except the species is the best species on the planet and you should join them. You can literally submit images for my videos. Who wouldn't want to appear in a tech chess vid? Next, white greets their opponent with, good afternoon, we are 32 bottom and 47 ROP in Indiana looking for a free use houseboy slave. We understand you are 17, but that's close enough for us, laughing emoji. We are willing to drive and pick up, just say the word. Ready to take 9-inch BBC in your tight Mexican Just say the word. I have no idea what the word is, but I very much hope it isn't pre-established. To me, this seems like outright kidnapping, and for obvious reason, turning a 17-year-old boy into a slave definitely isn't the right thing. Well, making anyone a slave isn't the right thing, but I think you get the point. Outrageous move. Black hits back with, you a grown-ass man. You're gonna burn in hell. What the f*** is the matter with you? Asking the obvious and letting white know what a sick f*** they are. This great move puts black in a nice position to make some more attacks and force their opponent to defend. Instead of taking the bait and defending though, white decides to leave their piece up for their taking and replies with, go back to you are country then. I'm gonna pretend they didn't make a grammar mistake just to avoid crashing out, but trust me, I'm close. Casual racism comes out here from white, which just isn't cool and is a blunder. Someone being Mexican is an excuse for wanting to kidnap them and turn them into a literal slave. If anything, it sounds like white is a big fan of the Mexican race. I carumba is black's response, and I could pretend to have aura and understand, but I use Google Translate for this. Apparently carumba can be used to express mild anger, and I'm not sure about you, but I'd be mildly angry about this too. However, this move is a miss just because there was a big opportunity to rip into the opponent's defense, but instead black just sits in shock. Next, white kicks us off the next game with LOL. I'm curious about what your nipples look like after using the nipple suckers, and I'm not gonna lie, I do not 100% would not make that clear to my opponent. It's creepy and leaves your defenses wide open for black to make an attack, which this player takes in a book move. Black asks, bro, what? Dude, you're a child, go away. clearly in shock that a literal child would DM them with such a devious question. My main concern is, how does the child know Black uses them? My inner dokes is coming out here because Black is a suspicious man in my eyes. For now though, I'll grade this a good move for doing the bare minimum. In a bold claim, White says, "We're the same age, lol, and something about me doesn't believe this. I'm a man of many generations though, and will be giving White the benefit of the doubt. They're still weird for being into that regardless of the age dynamic though, and this is a mistake for clearly trying to up their chances of getting a glimpse. Such a weird. Who the hell would have that? You would never catch me dead with it. Never. Good thing I'm alive." Black is still cautious about the age and asks, "Then why the f are you in the teenage subreddit?" Throwing out a brilliant move in the form of a double-edged sword. If White is actually of age, then they can be painted as a weirdo for being in a Reddit server full of people who are obviously underage. If they are underage, then they're not allowed to see any of those pictures. It's an L no matter the way you look at it for White, and Black is an incredible player for spotting this opportunity. "Cause I just turned 20, crying emoji." White gives the only option to escape the double-edged sword with a forced move that just about gets them out of the check. They really should have left the community now that they're 20, but as far as the rulebook holds up, that is good enough an excuse to let White off the hook. Despite this, Black plays, "Yeah, no, I'm not showing you my nips," giving no reason and making it clear that no matter the age of White, those are staying a secret for eternity. Me personally, I wouldn't shy away from showing another dude my nips, but who am I to judge someone else's preferences? Black plays a good move by making their preferences perfectly clear. That's fine, you just seem pretty open about your sex life. Luckily for Black, White plays the best move and is accepting of their distastes for showing their nipples to people on Reddit. At least they were at 7:15 a.m. Just 40 minutes later, at 7:54 a.m., they follow up with, "Do you like hung guys though?" moving away from the whole nipple gimmick and changing things to get even more private parts out of their bodies. For you viewers who are lucky enough to not know what a hung guy is, it's basically someone with a massive Something tells me that Black isn't hung, so I don't know why they're asking this because they're bound to be exposed for this inaccuracy eventually. What? White makes their confusion clear and gives Black the opportunity to expand, which is always going to be a blunder. I don't know why you'd want to hear more words from a player like this, and the best move would have definitely been resigning or, blocking, but some minds are a little bit too curious, I guess. Black asks, "You don't know what hung means?" acting like it's some sort of shameful thing to not know what it means, when in reality, I had to pull Google out. Yeah, I know it's surprising that I know everything, but even geniuses can be uneducated on niche topics like gay sex. Going back to the actual move, it's a mistake from Black because it just makes zero sense. Surprisingly, White did know what hung meant all along and replies with, "No, I'm confused on why you're asking that question, wasting even more of their time with a miss when it should be getting spent on an entirely different game." The reason why Black is asking is obvious. They're a strange man, and the fact that White hasn't moved on from the game and accepted that yet is genuinely crazy. In fairness to Black, they say, "Cause I'm curious," and at least they are honest. They're not trying to cover this weird shit up with any cover stories or anything, just straight honesty with a good move. Well, I guess not straight. This should be the biggest sign yet for White to quit the game though, because Black is so confident in their mission that I'm actually starting to think they're gonna win the game. Who would have known that the nipple enjoyer would turn into a favorite to win before the end game? I don't feel comfortable sharing that. Black stands their ground and refuses to answer the question with an excellent move. This shuts down Black's current attack and gives them the option to either leave or face the wrath that we haven't seen from Black yet. That's assuming they do have any more attacking moves in their locker, but for the sake of the plot, let's assume they do. Instead of defending with an answer, White decides to stick to their true self and explains, "I'm asking if you like this, basically," and just straight up sends a picture of their cock. Assuming they're actually 20, I'm happy to be sent this picture by Black for research purposes. As a manager of these games, it's important to see the bigger picture, For real though, this can only be given a blunder because there was absolutely no reason to do this. You're just asking for a prison sentence at this point. Black replies with, "Dude, not cool," which is a very toned down way of putting things. Not cool is way too chill about it, and I'm suspicious that Black might be more grateful for this picture after they're making out this mistake. The best move would have been to insult, which is much more likely a chode, and this is a missed opportunity if I've ever seen one. Well, not seen, it is blurred. Throwing one last curveball into the mix, White asks, "Do you like it then?" Sad emoji, basically trapping themselves. Black already said it wasn't cool, so there's no way they're magically just gonna say they liked it, huh? White is hoping for a miracle, but miracles don't happen in tech chess, and Christmas is over, making this a big mistake. Black closes with a cliffhanger, and yeah, no. And I guess we'll never know truly which one their answer was. It's a question that will unfortunately never be answered, and hopefully the next game will take it off our minds. Next, lady in the streets for men and slut bitch in the sheets. This isn't the most normal way to greet your opponent, but White decides to do it anyway, and while I respect the confidence, I definitely don't respect the mistake in itself. From the way it's typed to the actual words themselves, this move is just annoying. Black asks, "Why are you yelling that?" in a valid effort to understand that White is even trying to achieve by saying this. good move. Right now the opponent's move appears meaningless, but surely Black has some sort of objective from it. Black does well by trying to understand this. In defense, White explains, "I'm not yelling, it's just an aggressive tone of voice." But you can't just type your messages fully capitalized and expect to not be accused of yelling. White seems like your average alcoholic husband whose wife is desperately trying to leave him and he's online trying to find a fallback wife. This inaccuracy fails to identify the nature of their own previous move and just makes them look like a dumbass. Black points this out and says, "It makes you look like an idiot, and an excellent move, putting White in their place and maybe changing them for the better." I mean, I doubt it will change anything, but the thought of Black doing this is enough. Black is now in a very good position to create more attacks on White's weak defense. Trying to create, some sort of defense, White responds, "What could an idiot and a sassy mouth accomplish?" Trying to give some sort of Darth Vader and Son speech to join forces in a mistake. I'm not sure about what you think, but I don't think an idiot and a supposed sassy mouth can actually achieve much at all. That is, unless a bunch of accidental kids is an achievement to them. A block and a report probably is Black's card that they hold on to the end the entire game, immediately to try and scare their opponent into moving on to someone else. This is the best move, and unless White lives up to their title of being an idiot, they will resign the match and give the win to Black in their next move. However, instead of doing this, White hits back with, "Oh, so you're a sensitive bitch. You can give but not receive. Be more creative," failing to realize that Black could not give a shit what their thoughts on this are. No matter what happens, the report and block buttons will not magically disappear, and Black has a permanent checkmate button at their disposal. To win here, White needs to play more cautiously and look normal to Black. They evidently haven't worked this out yet though. Dumbass and a blunder. Black reveals, "Okay, I'm a dominant and I'm not into men," using the only card that's more effective than the block and report one. The gay one. This card is brutal to any man and forces them to continue playing the game because it isn't quite enough to be called a checkmate. It's definitely enough to be given a brilliant move though. I respect that. I'm not into men either. I get stimulation from bad bitches with beautiful minds. I am the sadistic gentleman. White's response is borderline nonsensical as you would expect, but at least they respect Black's choice. That's enough to grade this an excellent move, but I'm still not going to. I'm giving it a cornball move because anyone who refers to themselves as the sadistic gentleman deserves to be called corny in every way, shape, and form. Black says, "Okay, bye then," waving emoji, holding their arm out for a handshake to mutually abort the game. This is the best way to make sure no players lose their elo over the mismatch and things continue as normal. Very good move. White takes the arm and replies, "Be well," peace emoji, which is very contrasting to all their other moves, but positive character development. The character development we have seen this game has been nothing short of absolute cinema, and it ends with one last great move, aborting the game. You haven't aborted this video yet though, which means you must be enjoying it, so like and subscribe for more. I have to fund all of my OnlyFans subscriptions somehow. Next, White starts with, "So you're 18 now," sliding into the DMs of a fresh adult, which is a dodgy situation, but technically illegal. I mean, it depends on if they're talking beforehand, and considering the use of the word now, it's safe to assume they have been. Yeah, White is a fucking weirdo, and this is a blunder. Black simply states, "Yup," confirming what we already know with a boring move. The best move would have been calling White a groomer, but clearly they don't have the knowledge to understand that this clearly is happening. White follows up with, "So that changes things, huh?" Smirking emoji, acting like the fact that she's legal is gonna magically make her fall in love. We're not in the Harry Potter universe, so magic has absolutely no effect on love, and White is a dumbass for thinking it does. White plays a blunder on the offense here, and they've already got their pieces set up in some extremely weak positions. It changes literally nothing, is Black's response, crushing White's hopes with just 4 soul-destroying words. Black might not have the guts to call this out being a case of grooming, but at least they have the guts to show no romantic interest in return. As far as Black knows, White is just a desperate creep who's falling back on this fresh adult for a chance at filling a hole in their life that will likely never be filled. White hits back with, "But you said you're 18 now?" with 4 question marks, and you can see the tears on his face. This dude is so egotistical and self-centered that he literally can't comprehend the idea that an 18-year-old doesn't have interest in him. That's when you know you have a problem that's beyond solving, and White plays a mistake by making this known. Black explains that it doesn't mean I'll send you nudes because I'm not a minor, which they have every right to say, and if White has any respect for women like me, they would resign. I'm 6'5" by the way, but no one ever believes me unless they meet me in person. It's a shame I don't show my face, or my height, or my hands, or anything, really. Anyway, this is a good move from Black, standing firm and doubling down on the fact that our 18th birthday changes nothing between them. Fuck you, angry emoji. I've never seen a more irrational crash out in my life, but White delivers me with one and it's pathetic. This move automatically resigns them from the match to avoid any further embarrassment and hopefully triggers their new year to be full of self-improvement because they need it. New Year's resolution, don't text fresh adults. Next, White uses the traditional book move of hey to start our next game, which doesn't really give me much to say. Why can't people be more entertaining with their openings? E4 does get boring. Black makes a very interesting proposition in return that reads, want to make $200 to show off your ass in a thong on video chat, and 200 smackaroonies is hard money to turn away. Hell, if I got that offer, I'd find it so hard to turn down. Don't tempt me in my Discord server. Due to the fact that Black and White don't know each other at all though, I'm gonna have to grade this a mistake. It's one of the questions that you do not ask a stranger on the internet. My point is proven as White responds with, not a chance, turning down the easiest money of their life but keeping their self-respect intact. I'm not sure which is the better option, making this a good move because I'm neutral on the matter. It could have also been a scam because a random man on the internet is hardly a reliable source. Except me, I guess I am kind of like a random man on the internet to you guys, aren't I? What about to just video chat in shorts and a t-shirt is Black's follow-up proposition, and now White would be a dumbass to turn the money down. $200 for a video call is even easier money. You don't even need to trade off any self-respect. You're the one who gets the last laugh, the new game console, and 20 minutes of Discord call comedy. Shit sounds peak mistake. White explains helm though, smiling face, and as a businessman myself, this blunder is inexcusable. The easy task at hand isn't even unethical because the customer is a willing buyer. They literally deserve to be drained of every last penny they own. In short, White is stupid and clearly doesn't understand of how important money is yet. Any competent human would have taken Black's offer. Probably in shock as to how they got rejected, Black responds with, why? And as much as they're the creep in the situation, this is a very valid question and a great move. Nobody knows the answer to it, and we all want to hear, so props to Black for asking. White drops the reasoning we've all been waiting for by explaining, because I'm a minor, and it clearly says that in the post I made, so off you. Thanks, smiling face. Oh well, that's definitely a plot twist. Everything I've said so far has become invalid, but I've taken it back, so I'm not going to hell, guys, don't worry. How could I possibly have guessed White was a minor? It's not like the title of this video has the word predator in it. Anyway, White plays an excellent move by making this known. Black takes inspiration and does their own reveal, revealing I'm 7 and taking us all aback. If he's a minor too, then we're on an even playing field, but it still doesn't take away from the fact that they're on the weird side of people and shouldn't be in a girl's DMs online. As a standalone move, this is a nice parry attack and counteracts their opponent perfectly, forcing them to create a new sort of attack. Black pretty much figures out they have no way of cracking this nut and they resign the game. Better luck next time, I guess. Bro's on the anti-hustle. Next, in asterisks, White opens with tips hat and then continues outside asterisks with nice to meet you. My name is blank and I am 15 male. Let me know if you want to talk, smiling face. Okay, we're not reading the Epstein files. Why has a screenshot redacted their name? No, for real though, this mistake of an opening lets the opponent know straight away that you're an oddball, which is why you should avoid asterisks in your play. Black responds with hello in a book move, simply moving a pawn forward and allowing the opponent to make whatever opening they please. White follows up with hey there, and then an asterisk massages his shoulders before finishing with how are you doing, and this would be perfectly normal without the weird ass actions in the middle. Cut the stage directions and this dude would actually be a gentleman, but he's being a little too gentle with his shoulder massages. Another mistake in the opening. No is the simple yet effective response from Black, trying to send White back to the humble zone in as little words as possible with a good move. Any normal man would read this and understand the signal, but White has the confidence of me who knows I get whatever bitch I want. Unlike me though, he can't back up this confidence. Lucky for Black though, their signal actually works this time as White hits back with sorry, backs off, and I won't touch you anymore without your consent, finally deciding to do the bare minimum. The crazy thing about this move is it's literally a shot in the foot because this one text is single-handedly enough evidence for Black to get law enforcement involved. Even if nothing has happened, they said anymore, so yeah, they've cooked themselves with a blunder. After getting ignored though, they follow up with something that can only be described as dastardly. I get it, ... I'll go, slaps your ass on the way out, cool emoji. What the f? There are a lot of movies that deserve a cool emoji, but this criminal move is not one of them. Without their opponent even making a move, White goes from an apologetic and changed man to even more of a villain than they were before. We need the Avengers on this case. Law enforcement has nothing on our White player. For now, the best I can do is slash them with the ban hammer. Next, you have Snapchat is White's first move, trying to move things in the most basic platform on the planet in a book move. I have a serious question though, at what age do we just stop using Snapchat? Like surely when we turn 20 or something, everybody's just gonna hit uninstall and get rid of all of our streaks. God knows, but we have to keep analyzing games. Black states with, I will not share my Snapchat, and it's not that serious, bro. My guy whipped out a period and everything, reading out their choices like it's a law-given right. This makes them look way too serious, which indirectly gives them the appearance of a clown. Definitely a mistake if I've ever seen one. White replies with, I'll play Plasmophobia with you, but I want to fool around too, trying to set up a date opportunity, but who knows what they meant by fool around. My guess is a good old Sims woohoo, but based on how serious Black is, I doubt they'd be down for such a fun time. Usually this would be good riz, but in the circumstances of the opponent, I'm afraid I'm going to have to call this an inaccuracy.
Black asks, what do you mean with fool around? And instead of typing into their innocence, they're showing that they're lost instead. I mean, hey, I respect the purity, but come on, this shit was straight up obvious, and it's a big miss for not understanding. I mean, it is a good miss, but still a miss nonetheless. What expands with, like, have snap fun in a forced move, making their real meaning known, but it wouldn't surprise me if Black still didn't understand. Honestly, White is just being weird, and their opponent doesn't even get it, so there's literally no way for them to win, and they need to resign the game at this point. It's simply not worth it. Is it? This move is a mistake, as there were so many better options. Do you mean second? Black seeks the answer and seems more willing than I'd expect to work this shit out. I didn't know we were watching the Star Wars prequels because Black might be turned into the dark side, chat. I mean, they were destined for it with queuing as Black and all, but I had hope. Not for real though, this good move tries to figure out what's going on, which can't be insulted. White claims, yes, it's normal and I like doing it over Snap. Okay, buddy, it might be normal for you, but that does not make it a universal normal thing to ask strangers online to use Snapchat for weird reasons. This app is literally dominated by minors too, so if he's using it for these purposes, I have every right to be worried. Diddy 2.0 in the making right here. Blunder. Making things even weirder, Black plays, dude, you're literally on a subreddit for teenagers, delivering a checkmate in style, and there's no escape for White now. Not only do they do their deed on an app that clearly targets kids, but they find their, I'm gonna call them clients, on a Reddit for teens. Get this guy behind bars immediately.
White opens with the traditional how old are you move, and it's traditional for a reason. Basic things always have good reasons for being basic, and this book move is the best way to showcase that. It's so important to know if your opponent is legal before making risky plays. Black answers with 25, confirming their legality and giving White the green light in a forced move. This pawn movement gives White the option to play the game however they want in response. In a plot twist though, White reveals I'm making it clear that this game is not allowed to happen and Black should leave the game if they don't want the count to leave them. It's always a good move to be honest about age. Okay, are you single? Okay, dude, what the f*** Black playing at? Am I surprised? No. Am I still absolutely disgusted? Of course I am. This blunder leads to a lifetime ban from the text chess servers. Next, White sends some Roman-looking statue and follows up with don't care, putting us into some pre-established beef with absolutely no context. It's definitely not ideal, but I'm sure more will be revealed to us as the game goes on. Boring move. Black comes out of nowhere and responds with yo on Sophie Rain's Spider-Man video, announcing their Gooner status loud and clear for the entire world to hear. Admitting you have the Spider-Man video is bad enough, but offering that shit around on Discord is crazy work and a definitive mistake. Like any normal, decent human being, nah is White's response, choosing to not go all out on the offense, but politely declining the offering. I'm honestly gonna have to call this the best move because there aren't that many better ways to deal with D1 Gooners on this wavelength. You just gotta bore the shit out of them and hope they hop into their next victim. Black continues the game regardless of White being dry and plays RIP. It's shit though, and what on actual earth does bro mean by RIP? This is definitely a blunder. We're talking about the Sophie Rain Spider-Man video here. White isn't exactly missing out. Not to mention the fact that Black admits it was shit. Why the hell would he try to get other people on Discord to watch it then? Every part of this move is just stupid, and Black cannot expect to climb the elo players while putting out performance like this. Knowing you, you will send it anyway. White starts to get a bit of an attack going and pins Black's bishop to their queen in the back rank. This great move instantly puts them in a superior position to their opponent, but at the same time gives them a window to send the video, which would be horrible. What they decide to actually respond with is even worse though. I'm not even going to say that word, is better for skull emojis. I actually can't even laugh at this joke from Black, dude. I've never seen more of a blunder in my life. A blunder, a criminal move, the worst of the worst. The odd joke is all fun and games, but stepping down at this level is irredeemable and definitely a self-checkmate. After this, White gives up and resigns the match, but you and I are both praying they hit the Discord report button because nobody is more deserving than Black. I take that back actually. Discord is a scary place. There are people that actually send that shit. Next, if anyone touches my old sister, on God, I'm killing them. White makes a very valid statement seemingly out of nowhere. Nothing's wrong about the principle of what's being said, but I feel like we're missing a lot of context as to what was put in their mind. I doubt they suddenly just thought, shit, what if someone touches my sister? That just doesn't really happen. Still a good move for being valid though. Black hits back with the most simple yet offensive move available to him on the board. A touching emoji. Due to how messed up this is, I'm going to have to grade this as a blunder, but I have a feeling it's rage bait rather than a serious response. If that's the case, it works because White gets so pissed off they throw their device across the room and it smashes completely. For obvious reasons, that means they cannot finish the match and Black wins by default. Just to clarify, what they said is still fucked up though. Discord is so weird. Next, White admits something that you probably shouldn't, and the message reads, I'd totally cheat on anyone for you, LMAO. Like you are so flawless. Thanks, now I'm not going to get any sleep. Dazed emoji. Without the first message from these, it wouldn't even be that bad. Yeah, it'd still be one of the corniest openings of all time, but nothing crazy. The cheating part is so dumb in the opening though, and definitely a blunder. No girls saying aw to this, they're finding your social media, finding your girl's social media, and telling her. Rightfully so, too. Surprisingly though, Black doesn't enter attack mode and plays a mouth covering emoji followed by oops in return, seemingly playing along with White's pathetic attempts at Riz. This player's standards are so low, and they definitely need to raise them before they know it, they're going to get cheated on next. Miss. If I proposed to you, would you say yes? Literally looping the vid over and over. You know, if I've stopped watching because of you, I to you now. Whoa. If the cheating comment hasn't made Black feel uneasy, the second blunder definitely has for two reasons. One, who offers a proposal on Discord with a girl I'm assuming they've never met in real life. Two, you don't just admit to jerking off to someone. Dude, that's just weird. Trust me, a lot of people tell me they do it to my videos and it makes me uncomfortable as anything. It's no different for Black and White telling them. Fortunately, the game is still short enough for Black to abort without losing any elo. Next, White makes a statement so bad there is absolutely no defending it. This is the type of shit you see in the chat logs of Gideon or a no text-to-speech video. By the way, please collab, NTTS, I would love that. Anyway, the message reads, at everyone who wants to Gooner VC, ? Any age. Okay, this is a blunder for so many reasons that I can't fit them all in, so let's talk about the Nikocado avocado in the room. Any age, minors, they're in, old people, they're in, middle-aged people, welcome aboard. This is lined up to be a virtual Diddy party, and it's not what you want, is it? Next, why do people hate pedos who are not hurting the kid / the kid is consenting? If the child is consenting and is okay with it, what's the problem? I'm not sure what you think, but White's first move here has to go down as an inaccuracy. They might just be an innocent player who isn't informed on how things work, but the most likely identity of this player is a pedo themselves. It doesn't take a detective to come to that conclusion, though I'd probably be qualified to be one. I am the GOAT after all. After reading this message, Black pushes back saying IDGAF about morals, clearly pissed off that they've been messaged the most nonsensical shit ever. I'm calling this a miss because it isn't inherently wrong and does develop a piece, but there was a much better move. Best move would have been reporting the weirdo to Discord. I'm joking, like they'd do anything. Doubling down on the style of play, White follows up with, it's not pedophilia if the child consents, summarizing the first move pretty well but adding absolutely nothing to the game with a mistake. If you're going to be a wrongin', at least blurb in some new crazy statements to keep things interested. And instead, White keeps the blurb for their opening, which means we have already read. Morals are just excuses to not do one thing or the other. There are no right morals, so saying you're saying is simply wrong. Black replies in an inaccuracy because don't get me wrong, they're on the right side here, but they don't really have the skills to play it off well and put one of their pieces up for the taking. If any other normal player was playing Black right now, White would be paying the consequences of what they said, but instead, they're a free man. Or woman, it's 2020-2026. Next, White finds something funny, so they play ha with way too many A's for my low attention span brain to count, maybe like 6 or 7. I don't really have much context, but at least someone's happy for once. Good move. Black hits back with those hoes are in witness protection because of yo disgusting ass. That's a pretty wild accusation to make. If I wasn't corrupt, I'd investigate this before believing White is a bad guy, but if you clicked on this video for good law enforcement, you should leave now. Black plays a great move by calling out such a vile creature. I'm always right, and White proves it by responding with, I want a 13-year-old to suck my nuts in an absolute blunder that makes pretty much the game unwinnable for them. Casually dropping information like this is a Discord exclusive, but that's not the main point here. Being corrupt leads to good outcomes. We would have caught Black before any more moves are played. Some irrelevant ass dude comes in and says WTF, and I don't know what's worse, their username or Black's message. Black's probably happy as now because Yeet Boy sounds like their ideal age. Anyone over 13 called this deserves a public execution next to Black. Black then continues and replies to White's opening move again with, maybe if they weren't so cute, doubling down and officially selling their soul to the devil in a blunder. I never like to put a redemption arc off the table on this channel, but this has gone far beyond redemption. Bro just needs to pack it up at this point and make sure to train on how not to drop the soap, or how to drop it depending on their preferences. I know I'd drop, not drop. Next, my sister is a simple yet effective book move from White acts as a shield to their sister, also known as their queen, on the back rank. She is now unable to be legally captured by any looming Discord mods, and it gives White a massive advantage. This doesn't stop our Black player though, who deems it appropriate to reply with, I want to date your sister, and I wish I could grade this a criminal move, but I'm gonna have to call it a blunder because I've already used the criminal move way too much. But let's be real, if I used for every criminal move, then we wouldn't have any other ratings in this video. Instead, I'm just gonna permanently ban Black from text chest, but I'd hack the computer so the game stays on it for all of eternity. Reflection is needed.
White starts things with a very unique move, which involves removing everyone from the group chat in a mistake. What made bro think he had to resort to this? If you hate the group chat that much, then you should probably be the one leaving, not the other way around. But they aren't even finished with the opening, because White follows up with, now it's just you and me. I'm going to do things to you, making a confession so illegal that they need to be put in jail just for thinking about it. I think it's pretty obvious that this is a blunder, and White needs to be under close supervision from local authorities. In a state of complete confusion, Black replies with 8 question marks before playing hell, help, hello, help, failing to realize that every single soul has been removed from this group chat, making it an inaccuracy. No one, yes, no one is coming to save them. This is the perfect scenario to say, you're alone on this one, buddy, but I do wish them luck. Nobody deserves to be subjected to this shit. With that said, the text chess mods picked up this tomfoolery and banned White, giving them both the win and safety. Next, White replies to Black's story by saying, I can't lie, you sexy as f***, giving them perv status right off the rip. I must say, I don't advise making moves like this at all in text chess, especially at the start, because it might be considered too much too soon. That's just a guess though. Moving back to some analysis, this leaves a lot of room for Black to make some offensive moves, but for all we know, Black might be a weirdo too, so anything could happen really. Somehow, I've concluded that this is a book move. Thank you, is Black's half-hearted response, which shows some politeness, but makes it extremely clear that they don't want to pursue anything special with their opponent here. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think there's a single person on the planet who would want to pursue things with White though, and to be honest, I can't blame them. As a whole, Black plays a great move that politely declines White's opening. Somehow though, White thinks they still have a chance and hits back with, I go to jail Monday, but I still got 3 days to turn up, making an illegal confession and a romantic confession at the same time. It's honestly quite remarkable that they've managed to do that, and I feel slightly inclined to give it a positive rating. However, I'm not corrupt unlike the old narrator on this channel, so I will fairly rate it as a mistake. Who the f*** admits they're a convicted felon on their second DM? On a more positive note, it does spark some curiosity into Black, who asks, oh wow, for how long? Which keeps the game flowing and develops some pieces in an all-around good move. You can't fault someone for starting a conversation in an awkward moment, and maybe they'll find out that Black got arrested for something cool, like, scamming kids online. Answering the first question, White plays 8 years and chooses to be very blunt about their answer. This was his opportunity to recover a game that he's clearly losing, but bro just threw it out in the trash like it's nothing. Plus, there aren't many cool crimes that result in an 8-year sentence. I'm pretty sure this just guarantees that the crime is on the bad side of things, which makes this move a blunder. But surprisingly, Black, who still isn't scared, continues their interrogation by asking, what you do, crying emoji, and they might honestly be an undercover lawyer or something who's trying to dig up more dirt on White. At this point, that wouldn't surprise me at all, and Black plays an excellent move by trying to get more information on the crime. Attempt murder. WYD. Okay bro, there were a lot of things I thought this White player could have done, but attempted murder was not one of those thoughts. The only credit I can give here is that this dude is brave for admitting this to someone who he wants to meet up with, because she definitely thinks she's about to get slimed out now. This blunder scares the Huz, scares the police, and scares society, so it's going to have to be the second blunder of the game. It even causes Black to resign out of pure fear, and you definitely can't blame them. Next, White tweets, how hard is it to not fuck with minors, crying emoji. Are they that good? Eyes emoji, indirectly confessing to what is genuinely the worst crime imaginable. Don't get me wrong, White hasn't completely said that they mingled in these young waters, but they have thought about it, which should be illegal in itself and a blunder. Now, their defense is more wide open than Bonnie Blue's, and that is the only thing getting wider now that she's pregnant. Capitalizing on this defensive gap, Black responds with, what made you continue typing after the sob emoji, bruh? Which raises a very valid point and an excellent move. I think the use of the word bruh needs an honorable mention in this move because it adds a lot to it. Not that that's relevant. Next, excuse me miss, have you ever been arrested? Is White's very straightforward opening, but it's also quite confusing because what gives them this instinct? Black must have had a questionable profile if the first thing a woman thinks is, yeah, this motherfucker is a criminal. Anyway, despite this opening being out of pocket, we haven't seen the profile yet, so it could be valid. No context, neutral rating, book move. Black then chooses to be completely honest and hits back with, yeah, how could you tell? Which has to be a good move because they're trying to improve. They obviously don't want women to find out that they're an ex-convict or they're gonna get less action. So asking how White found out is a great way to collect constructive criticism. This deserves to be called a great move. Unfortunately for Black though, White drops the news of, I was gonna say it's illegal to be that cute, but now I'm curious, showing that Black folded under zero pressure. Now he's been made to look like an absolute dumbass, and he's revealed the fact that he's been behind bars without even being asked. Talking about the actual move a bit more, it clearly wasn't calculated because White had no idea Black was actually going to be a criminal. Due to the improvisation though, I think calling it an excellent move would be fair. Aggravated assault. Black follows the trend of the felons in this video so far, and bluntly admits their crime, and I'm hoping they're not proud of it. I feel like this should be a blunder, but to be honest, lying would be far worse, so I'm only going to limit it to a mistake. Yes, it does frighten the Huz away, but that's better than bringing the Huz into a lie and having them find out after entering your bedside drawer and digging through your legal documents, including your past divorce letter and certificate of being gay, until she finds your criminal records. No, I'm not speaking from experience. Anyway, White checkmates their opponent in the next move, so we can all rest knowing that the right player won. Next, giving us our second story reply of the video, White asks, "Dang bro, are you on a date?" And the only thing I'm getting from this is that Black is chopped, because why are they so surprised about this? If one of my friends, that I 100% have, replied to my story like this, I just say fuck you, because a real brother should expect their bro to be on dates. There were a lot of better openings here, but they chose to play the miss. Black then says, "Yeah, lol," making a dry book move response that there's nothing more than advance a pawn to the middle of the board. In defense of Black though, they're on a date, so they probably had to make this move very quickly so it didn't seem rude. All it takes is one slip up and the girl ends up going to the bathroom but never returns. Trust me, I know. You're probably wondering though, where the hell is the illegal confession in this game? Don't worry, White serves it by asking, "Yo, can I hide out at your place? I may have stolen several cars last night." Making a crazy blender, because why would you put your bro who is on a date in such a stressful situation? Not only that, but you're also dragging him into the crime by asking him to protect you. All this mistake does is highlight what a bad friend White is, which is pretty much all that I can gather from the entire game. I think I'll be saying this for the first time ever. Black needs to put this hoe above his bro. Next, White admits I got 2 grams for $40 to his goddamn mother in a blunder so bad that it's hard to even describe with words. To put this into chess terms, White literally broke the rules in his first move and placed the king directly in front of Black's center pawn, which checkmates him right off the rip. What makes things even worse is that this was an accident, which we can tell as White plays, "Sorry, ignore that text, not for you," acting like they can just play it off like it's nothing. It's been a long time since I've seen such an outrageous move, and White is getting beat when they get home. In an instance like this, I'm all for it. Go get that slipper, whoever their mother is. Black answers pretty quickly by saying, "What are 2 grams, Vinny? Should I be worried? Cause you just made me. Hello?" And I need to ignore the actual move for a moment, because what kind of mother types like this? I'm used to the usual minion memes and the politically correct grammar, but this woman types like a 13-year-old if they fell down the stairs. I'm not even surprised that their child turned out like this. Anyway, that's off topic. If we were to ignore the way they've played their move, it's dumb as a whole, because who on earth wouldn't be able to tell what 2 grams means in this context? I mean, sorry if any of you viewers don't, but I'm sure the comments will help you. Black is a dumbass and shows us through a huge inaccuracy, which makes me resign my first ever game. Yes, me. I don't want to see what happens after this, and you probably don't either. Next, tell me a little about yourself, is White's normal opening that goes down as a book move, but something's telling me that's just a little too normal to be true. You're telling me that after all the openings so far, someone just whips out this? I'm not buying it, personally. Anyway, Black states, "I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't hang out with women. I go to bed at 10 at night and I get up at 6 in the morning. Quiet, calm." And someone needs to throw a matcha and a quarter zip at Black pronto, because this is way too performative for a game of text chess. We get it, you sleep healthy and you're cool, but the source being yourself is a little too biased for my liking and corny. I think it made sense to bring back the cornball move for this one. Unlike us though, White actually buys it and responds with, "You're perfect for me, heart eyes," committing to the talking stage and announcing their potential love in a definitive miss. At the end of the day, it's not my place to judge random people's love interests, but maybe going on a date would be cool before sending a stranger emojis like this. Just a thought. White went in blind and appears to be coming out with rose-tinted glasses, but that's their problem, not ours. And the problem only gets worse, because Black gets back with, "But when I get out of prison, everything will change," who single-handedly makes the best plot twist of the century with a brilliant move. Let's be real, there's no chance they don't get blocked after this illegal confession, but they went out with a bang and that's all that matters. Next, instead of a confession, this next game starts with an accusation that reads, "So you sent one of my friends a pic? She has a boyfriend, by the way, and that's very disgusting, FYI." Here, White puts Black in a situation where they are forced to defend themselves, which instantly puts them in the better position for the rest of the game. For that reason, this is a great move, but it can backfire if Black has substantial evidence against the claim. Luckily for White though, this is not the case, and Black actually confesses by playing, "There are people who like this," showing absolutely no shame and choosing to justify their illegal choices. I mean, the play is bold, I'll give that to them, but it's definitely not the sort of thing you're meant to be bold about. Unless you're packing it, I guess, but not everyone is as genetically lucky as me. In chess terms, this blunder is literally the equivalent of telling your opponent how to checkmate you and actually letting it happen. It's dumb as shit. You don't even know the worst part yet though, and White chooses to reveal it and continue their offensive pursuit by playing, "She's 10 by the way, and I'm 14, so that's immature and disgusting. So knock it off and you should at least ask for consent." This great move reveals that Black has basically committed digital graping against young people, which is a phrase I never thought I'd had to say before, but here we are, I guess. We need a new word that's worse than illegal with the same meaning for players like this. Now, I want you to have a guess at what Black's reply is going to be. Heck, you can even pause the video and comment your prediction, because I promise you, you're not going to get close to it. Who's your friend? Give me her page. Yeah, I've seen enough. The police force need to get a bulldozer and knock this entire wall to arrest this future felon before something out of hand goes down. I've been waiting for the entire video to use the criminal move rating, but I think now is finally the time. Do better.
You need to do better, bro. You can't be the voice of the channel and forget the goddamn begging.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say that you can do better by subscribing, because 200k in 2026 would be crazy. Next, now I'm not completely educated on what this DM means, but it reads, I'm venting some horrifically noxious gas today. Thought I'd let you know. Hashtag gas champ, hashtag pride of the nation. And forgive me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure White is talking about some sort of drug here. I'm an innocent boy from the suburbs though, so let it slide if I'm far off. Assuming I'm right though, my man just straight up admitted it, but not in the usual dumbass way. He actually has aura. This excellent move asserts dominance on the other opponents, but I must say, nobody watching this should try any gas-like substances. Black appears to be another innocent suburban boy though, because they ask what, taking absolutely zero information from Black's message, which is super relatable. For all I know, White could be snorting some fresh farts immediately after they left their booty, but that's just for you guys to translate. Usually I'd call a player like Black a dumbass, but I guess I'm just as bad, so I can't stoop down to this level this time. It's still a miss though, I just made one too. Luckily, White takes my verbally abusive role and executes their checkmate with, what do you mean what? It's self-explanatory. And I am so pissed off right now. Usually it's my role to absolutely dog on clueless players, but now the tables have turned and it's soul destroying. As I already said, this brilliant move executes the checkmate, but it's just a shame I wasn't the one to do it. Next, Yo Bro is the basic book move of choice from White that starts off a game that I have a feeling about. You know, the feeling that we're about to witness absolute cinema? Yeah, I have it. Black answers, who is this? Making sure they've clarified this before the game continues, which makes perfect sense and is a good move. If the smelly kid in class is in your DMs, who the fuck would want to play text chess with them? Although that might be why I struggle to get any matchups. Anyway, back to the point. White hits back with, this is Kayla's boyfriend, which reveals the context that Black knows Kayla. And I think it's implied that White isn't happy about that. Establishing your identity early in the game is a forced move when prompted, but this shit is about to get juicy. I mean, what's more interesting than two guys wanting the same girl? I can't think of many things, not gonna lie. Black chooses to play things casually instead of offensively, so he develops their bishop with, what's up? Which makes sure the game progresses but isn't anything too risky. Black clearly has the mentality that if White has a problem, they can state their damn problem, and I'm all for it, which is why it's an excellent move. But it's about to get undermined by this insane response. Listen, I'm gonna just keep it real with you. I know she's been cheating on me with you, and you're her side man and all, and you know what? I'm fine with that. Because if she's happy, then I'm happy. The thing is, I'm messing with someone else right now too. So I was gonna ask if you could chill with her on Sunday, so I can take my other girl out, 100 emoji. Alright bro, what the actual f have I just read? White's response is way too honest and risky, but you have to make a high risk for high reward in fairness. They've put everything on the line by sending this message because Black could low-key snitch or pussy out to ruin the entire situation. Obviously that's the deserved outcome because cheating is for weirdos, but for the sake of the players winning this game, Black is going to need to accept this offer if all hell breaks loose. It's risky, but it's also entertaining and a great move. Fortunately, it pays off too because Black plays, shit man, skull emoji, that's a bet, don't even worry what time. Securing both of them a positive ending and a pretty messed up stalemate with a brilliant move. On an ethical standpoint, things would be far different though, but if you watch this channel for ethical ratings, you might as well leave now.
So, White responds to a picture of Black holding a red lightsaber by saying, Mommy, I swear I'm a good boy, can you hold my saber like this too? Starting things off with harassment, which is most definitely illegal. I really hope this app is anonymous because this is the type of text that you do not want on your digital footprint, and a mistake. Black hits back with, is this real? Violating their opponent in every way, shape, and form with an excellent move. Trying to riz someone up and being accused of being a bot is a new low, and that not even the biggest of Gooner deserve, but this one got just that. Unfortunately for us, this got them so badly that they resigned from the match. Next, White opens with MRF and age, using the traditional opening that every girl will have received at least once in their life. Girls aren't a fan of this book move though, and most often than not, it will not end well for the guy playing it. Black responds with chicken jockey, trying to be funny with a cornball move, but leaving the whole crowd with a newfound sense of reason to self-delete. Maybe 5 or so months ago, this would have got a giggle out of the 5-year-olds, but if that's their target audience, it might be time to check if they're a minor themselves or a man that needs his hard drive checked. Minor, don't worry, I like him young. What the f have I just read? We're only on the second game of the video, and we've already come across a certified PDF file. White plays an insane blunder on the offense, trying to start an attack, but leaving their queen out for the taking, which is never good. I hope the cops are watching this specimen closely. Black asks, damn, what does that mean, chat? Continuing to respond with the Generation Beta slang, confirming, in fact, that they are a minor to White, not that White cares. This good move should, in theory, deter the opponent, but in a game like this, I'm not sure that will be the case. Resigning might be the only option Black has left to walk away from the game as a winner.
White pushes onwards with, so I'm guessing between 9 to 13. Perfect, playing a criminal move, and that's gotta be life sentence worthy. I'm not sure what you think, but this definitely doesn't feel like something the human or not bot would say, so I'm pretty sure Black has their answer to this game lined up. Black replies, sorry, but I only like them 60, choosing to troll their opponent rather than take the win straight away. An excellent move here, does well at pushing closer towards a checkmate to the point that it's almost impossible for White to defend against it. This is why they choose to resign, revealing their human status, but I hope the app can track their identity because this player needs a visit from some form of officer. Next, presumably answering a question, White kicks things off with 15, what about you, in a book move, trying to make sure that any sort of riz that's about to take place is happening on legal terms. Black does the bare minimum and responds with, glad I checked before anything got racy. I'm a bit too old for you, but compared to the menaces that are going to be in this video, I'll grade it a good move for avoiding a very obvious trap from White. Continuing to try and pull off said trap, White hits back with, I don't mind, playing the first inaccuracy of the game because it's usually the older player that says creepy statements like this, not the player who's meant to be the victim. The only thing that makes sense here is that White is trying to set up a trap, but the truth is, they're probably just weird as fuck. Doubling down on defense, Black plays, I do, that's a bit sketchy, staying legal and doing us all proud. It's such a breath of fresh air seeing law-abiding citizens on a platform full of degenerates. This excellent move communicates that things should not be happening between them and this minor, and that they should decide to abort the game. Unfortunately though, there are too many moves deep for the game to be aborted, so White replies okay, trying to get a stalemate out of the match with a good move. Now, if this was your regular conversation, it would end here because both are seemingly happy to do just that. In text chess though, you and I both know that this can only go one way. Would you actually mind sending a picture of your panties? Okay, time out, bro. I thought Black was normal. After an entire game of putting up a generational defense when Black got the chance to win, they threw the basketball at a crowd member sitting in the top row. Considering this a blunder, it's safe to assume that the member who got hit was a child. I have so many ways I could describe this Reddit mod with a nickbeard, but I think it's better that we just give it a blunder and move on. Of course, they are receiving a ban from text chess though. Next, he's cute, what's his number, is White's crazy opening to a kid that doesn't look a day older than 5, and I'll give her the benefit of the doubt with a good move because we don't know her true intentions. It is easy to assume she's trying to form her own version of Epstein Island and collecting kids like Infinity Stones, but maybe this is just normal riz to try and speak to the father. Black states, if you really want it, I can give it to you. For some reason, the parental figure of this child has agreed to give their number to a stranger, which is dangerous for all sorts of reasons. I'm by no means trying to be a Karen, but even I can be responsible sometimes, and this is definitely a blunder. You'd be a better dad than this one if you left at childbirth. White creates a condition by replying, only if he's funny, and why don't they know that beggars can't be choosers? They get what they're given, and White is overstepping the line here considering they've already secured a 5-year-old's number, so there's no point in pushing their luck with such a mistake. Black's inner salesman comes out, and they reply with, I think he's a bit of a jokester, and I must say, he must be a very good wingman. However, I don't think letting a grown-ass woman drop game on your Cocomelon watching son is something good to slap on the wingman portfolio. It might end up with the kids being given to someone else, hence making this play another mistake. A ver is White's response, which would make more sense to me in Mandarin, but fortunately they follow up with a phone number, so we get the message. White is so desperate that they give up on asking for their number and go all out by sending their own, which is a new level of degeneracy and a blunder. Any good player would resign here and never tell their son this happened, but we both know by now Black is not a good player. From the child's phone, Black messages Goo Goo Gaga, playing a brilliant move and proving us all wrong. I really thought they were about to post their kid up on the phone to a random woman in their mid-20s, but this entire time they've been waiting to message themselves. White sprinted headfirst into this checkmate, and if it wasn't for their intentions potentially being illegal, I would feel sorry for them. Next, White sends a cat picture followed up by, I'm gonna fuck him, giving us all the evidence we need to purge him from existence. Seeing a kitten with eyes that cute and thinking this of all things is something that only the twisted of minds use and a clear outrageous move. Hell is justified even if they don't go ahead and fuck the cat because the thought is evil enough. In response, Black plays, you're completely crazy, this is my cat, shitting themselves because who wants their cute pet to suffer this fate? As much as this move is normal though, it does jack shit to try and save the cat, so it has to go down as a miss for that reason. Wasting a move like this is not very smart, especially in crazy circumstances like this. Oops, wrong person, sorry, revealing that this is a rage bait scheme, White hits back with an excellent move perfectly designed to piss off their opponent. Yes, this form of rage bait is unethical as heck, but you've got to do what you can to win a game of text chess, and that's coming from a grandmaster. Black asks, what do you mean, you kidnapped my cat, once again reacting in a normal way, but in the sense of winning, the best way to describe this is a silly mistake. As I said before, you can't waste a move reacting emotionally to your opponent, and instead should defend or attack. The rage bait gambit makes people do this, and while White is playing it well, it is always possible to avoid being trapped. White finalizes a rage bait by playing "It Feels So Good to Fuck a Cat," drooling emoji, oops, wrong person again, sorry, checkmating their opponent in ugly fashion. Bro has the humor of the class clown in middle school, but it worked this time and got the win, so who am I to dog on it? Get it? Dog on it. Anyway, not being funny is a form of rage bait at the end of the day. No, I did not mean that about myself. Next, Just Kidnap Me Already. The opening is used by White here, revealing their biggest fetish before the game has even started, in a mistake. I've never truly understood women who are into shit like this, but people like what they like. Personally, I just like women, full stop, and I don't care about all the other stuff like being kidnapped, and while I am pretty much perfect, other people have their preferences. I am, by the way, 8'4" and a feminist. Black replies with, haha, you want me to be a criminal, smoothly laughing off the creepy opening, but making the inaccuracy of playing along. If a D1 pervert posts up in your DMs like this, the last thing you're meant to do is play along, but this fatal mistake has already been made. By the way, when I told you guys to DM me last video, I was joking. I got a bunch of women DMing me. Definitely women, trust me. So please stop messaging me. I do not want to see your weird DMs or your weird flirting. Anyway, my apologies. I assumed you were already a criminal, because that's where I'm from. It's illegal to be looking that fine. Hold on a second, I need to vomit. White plays one of the worst cornball moves we have seen on the channel since they got introduced, and the secondhand embarrassment I am feeling right now is honestly indescribable. I can't fathom how bro played that line in his head and thought the Riz was acceptable, but you and I both know it isn't. Somehow though, Black reads it and lets out a smile because they hit back with, haha, that's smooth, damn, showing off that their standards are lower than the Earth's mantle, literally below ground level. The best move here would have been insulting White for their corny nature, but instead they play this mistake which ends the game in a stalemate. At least they're both happy, but it's at the cost of my joy. To make my joy come back, visit textchess.store with a link in the description to buy the merch that's guaranteed to increase your chances with the Huzz, and maybe I will DM you back. Also, remember to like and subscribe while you're down there for the sole reason that I am really cool. Next, White explains they look absolutely heavy, need help picking them up, and usually this would be a weird opening, but considering Black posted a close-up of their jugs, it's warranted to mention that this is why, and I'll let it slide as a book move. Black hits back with, oh, they aren't that heavy, lol, politely declining the offer, which they have the right to do. If anything, their response is kind because instead of directly rejecting their opponent, they're still letting the conversation continue and giving them a second chance, which is a good move. It's now up to White to use his second chance. White then plays, I don't believe you, I'll have to check them myself to make sure, throwing away their second chance like it's a garbage bag. Doubling down on the heavy titty route might be up there with the dumbest decision in text chess and a major inaccuracy. She ain't gonna let you hit, bro. LMFAO, Black gives a dry as hell response and a boring move, trying to bore their opponent away from being a creep. The easiest option would have definitely be punching the report button as hard as possible and then blocking them, but who am I to question them? Women are independent after all. Trust me, I wear a quarter zip and drink matcha. I'm also listening to Taylor Swift while writing this. White triples down with, I'm professionally obliged to make a full inspection. For research purposes, when can we book an appointment? Being corny, but not corny enough to be a cornball. This blunder tries to sound quirky, but in reality just makes him sound like a Discord mod rounding up kittens in their server. It leaves a lot of gaps in their defense wide open. Black chooses to ignore the message, which is honestly the best move, but unlucky for them, White sends a follow-up message which reads, damn blank, was I not desperate enough? I was ready to crawl and beg for you tonight, taking their humiliation to a whole nother level with an outrageous move. this is voluntary embarrassment at this point, and bro is gambling everything that his opponent doesn't mass screenshot of him and put it online. It looks like that happened in front of 148,000 subscribers. Sorry. Black responds to this one with, oh damn, dropping another boring move, praying that White thinks they're too dull to be perverted against, and resigns the game. As much as this move is boring actually, Let's grade it a great move because it's actually quite a good strategy. White literally barks with, should I bark for you or cook for you to get me bonus points, or both? Moaning emoji, to which I could feel my skin crawling. You're gonna pay me to eat food cooked by this Gooner because I wouldn't be surprised if they haven't had a shower in weeks. I hate to break it to you, buddy, but it isn't the 2020 lockdown anymore. You have to clean yourself. Yet another blunder from White keeps them on the back foot, and I'm starting to lose all hope. You can do both, but still get no bonus points. Black plays a brilliant move on the offense, capitalizing on White's desperation and giving the opportunity to embarrass themselves even more. Their rook is also captured now, making their defense much weaker, so White's chances of winning are very slim now. White hits back with ruthless. I think you just hate me, and I like it, stooping down to a level that you don't see online very often unless you're a subscriber of my channel. Disastrously, this miss puts White in a situation of no recovery, and no matter what happens from this point forward, the damage has already been done. Entering troll mode now that they've already won, Black asks, what? No, I have a PP, making White question their entire sexuality and existence in a move that their 2D brain probably can't even comprehend. Great move. White responds with, LMAO what? Crying emoji, clearly in denial that they find someone with a third leg attractive. Little does bro know that it is 2020-25 and there's rightfully nothing wrong with being gay, he should just give in to his feelings. Unlike me, because I'm not gay. I'm grading this a force move because what else are you meant to say? White follows up with, do you want me to tickle your balls, putting an offer on the table that I will gladly take up if Black doesn't. I'm sure I have a lot of competition too because who wouldn't want to experience a tickle? Obviously I'm joking, who would want to do that? This offers a blunder for being so incredibly weird. If you accept this, you totally need to get help. Totally. If you send me money, you can do more. Black plays their second brilliant move of the game, trying to monetize the match in an opportunity that looks like it could actually pay off. He will probably make way more than me. I know people have their opinions on shit like this, but if a girl paid me to hate them, I would so take it. White surprisingly holds their grounds and hits back with, I thought I was doing the begging roll, that doesn't sound fun, and as much as this is still weird, you have to praise that they aren't willing to spend hard-earned money on affection. It's definitely a good move for avoiding that absolute level of degeneracy. Black replies, let me have some money and I'll let you tickle my sister's balls, flex emoji, wink emoji, I'ma be your wingman, selling their sister like she's a worker in the Amsterdam red light district. Going down as their first mistake, this unethical move cannot be defended and I hope their sister doesn't suffer. LMFAO, you're the most confusing pimp I've ever met. Even family is not safe from you. I'm not even sure who I'm talking to now, is White's response, clearly happy with his business exchange, and Black sister needs to hide where she can. They should do what they did to dipshit Jarek in Stranger Things and hide her in a barn, except from something far worse than a Demogorgon. Next, throwing us into a pre-established game, White starts with oof, laughing emoji haha, and considering the lack of context, it only makes sense to rate this as a book move. Black decides to respond with 2 question marks, which is exactly what I'm thinking, so hopefully we get answers. This good move pries out information for not only them, but us too, so you have to respect it. Finally giving us the context, White explains that 27 is a little old for me, being honest about their young age in order to save Black from receiving pedophilia allegations, or even worse, actually committing it. Like I said in an earlier match, this is the bare minimum, but compared to people usually in my videos, it's a great move. You're literally 34, Matt. Holy plot twist. The plot twist of the century from Black reveals that this game has far more to it and is a prime example of absolute cinema. White is actually the legal flirter here, or at least the creepy one, because 27 being too old for a 34-year-old definitely isn't normal. Calling this out is an excellent move, and I'd like to see how White defends this one here. White plays, best of luck out there, choosing to ignore the entire message and end this conversation like an NPC. To be honest, considering there were no real ways to defend this, dipping is probably the best move as it saves himself from a very embarrassing checkmate. Now that the opponent has clearly resigned, Black asks, this is a joke, right? F you, Matt. Clearly very angry about the game, and rightfully so. However, Matt has resigned, so swearing at a brick wall is kind of embarrassing and an inaccuracy. I think we might have a schizophrenic on our hands. Next, White likes Black's photo in a traditional book move, moving their pawn to e4. Out of seemingly nowhere, Black asks, did you kidnap a child? As you do on occasion. I have no idea why they chose to ask such an insane question, but I guess it is important to know whether or not your potential boyfriend is a kidnapper or not, so a great move for trying to get to the bottom of this. I'm not sure about what you think, but I'm pretty sure it would be a deal breaker for most. I mean, I don't know about me. White honestly replies with, the court said I didn't, and that's so f***ing funny. This is peak humor, and Black would definitely be an idiot not to fall for him after such an excellent move. That is if he's definitely joking. Of course, if he is serious, I don't allow it, but it's very obviously a joke. Do not cancel me, please. Next, no. White is clearly in denial about something, and I'm pretty sure it's not about the death of Padme, unless they're called Anakin, of course. Jokes aside, something crazy must have been said to warrant a no in full capital letters and with 3 or 4 O's, but as a response, it's a good move. Black responds with, don't worry, I don't mind it, and I feel like we've been left with more plot holes in the Star Wars sequels. Yeah, we're coming for Star Wars in this game. Due to all the missing context, it would be unfair to rate this above a good move, so I'll keep it as exactly that. White gets defensive and finally provides context by playing, I'm not racist, I have a black friend, using the oldest trick in the book with a definite inaccuracy. If you're a raging racist, at least own it and don't use this excuse because it just makes you even less tolerable. I already hate White and want Black to take home the win. Santa better deliver coal to White on Christmas. I accept you the way you are is Black's response, stepping down to a level even lower than their opponent, which I didn't even know was possible. Bro openly supports racism, which surely has to be a crime, right? If it isn't a felony in real life, then it has to be a felony according to text chess rules and results in a ban. However, for the sake of our entertainment, I'll let them finish the game after this blunder. Choosing to be even more racist, White replies, no, I eat curry and I wear black, acting like they're exempt from racism because of their funeral off fashion taste and their good taste in food. I say good, but it really depends on what curry they're into. Like their opponent, they end their time on text chess with a blunder and get hit with the ban hammer. Next, white opens with Oliver, simply stating the name of their opponent and a means of greeting them with a book move. Black responds with, yeah, encouraging them to expand on their greeting with a book move too. This shit could go either way and there really isn't much to say about it yet. I'm gonna save my words for the later messages. Did you test positive or negative? White plays a great move on the offense, seeking the answer to a very important question. We know they're not asking about pregnancy unless Oliver is a nickname, so I'm gonna assume it's an STD, to which wanting to know the answer is key. You can't blame white for wanting to know the answer here. Black pushes back with positive, confirming to what I am going to assume is their partner that good things are about to go downhill in their relationships. On the surface, being honest is a good move, but since this will definitely detriment the relationship, it has to go down as a blunder, and marriage is definitely not on the cards. Proving my point, White replies with Jewish N-word, I hope you die so the Austrian painter would be happy, and then we could put pictures of you N-word and say a Jewish N-word left us some space in this world. Okay, that was not necessary. What is it with racism in these last two games? Racism will never get anywhere other than a blunder, and once again, two players get hit with a ban hammer. It's rare we get two winless games in a row, especially when all four of the players get banned. Next, to hopefully start a more rule-following game, White puts someone with a generations-long sadness in their eyes and love in their heart on their profile to tell people what kind of man they're looking for. I don't know why someone normal would want their man to always look sad, but I guess you guys finally have a chance of getting a girlfriend, so yeah, good move. Black messages back to the criteria with eyes of a shell-shocked WW2 vet, cars are just like war for real, with a heart full of caffeine and nicotine. I'm pretty sure being full of sadness for generations doesn't involve pumping nicotine and caffeine into your addicted body, but White might like it, so I can't judge yet. That's why I'll grade it as a good move, but it's by no means anything special. White says you're hot, showing off their standards as if they have any. Finding this attractive is genuinely side and reminds me of these memes where girls fall for druggies just because they're tall and have fluffy hair. I can't not rate this a mistake, and if their father saw this coming after birth, they'd have run away to the deserted regions of Australia 5 minutes before childbirth. Crazy thing is, I was thinking the same about you. Want to commit crime together? As goofy as this AI Riz from Black is, based on the audience, I actually see it having potential. This excellent move sets up a promising position on the offense, and if White fails to spot it, then they could be on the bad end of a nasty checkmate. White asks, what crime? Playing along with Black's game and allowing them to show off their true potential in a good move. A lot of women would leave shit like this on red, but as weird as this one is, at least she gives new players a second chance at making her blush. Black continues their attack by saying it would be criminal for us to get coffee together. Hell, it would be a capital offense. Again, showing their corny sides, but girls can sometimes be into great moves like this. As much as it makes the average guy's skin crawl, it makes the average girl see confidence and potential for good humor, which are very good traits in a guy. I get complimented all the time, usually by my grandma, but that still counts. I'm not a huge coffee girl. Damn, I feel bad for Black. They had the bravery and confidence to shoot their shot, but White threw it right back in their face and rejected them in a parry move, trying to deflect their offer away. As cool as it is, women do get to choose who they want though, and you can't really fault them for not wanting a corny guy, despite the fact that he's hot and giving false hope. White continues and offers to share drunken cigs in a park, drive around at night, windows down, music blaring, catch a movie, or get making tramp stamp tats, tapping into the degeneracy that Black approved of earlier with a brilliant move. Coming back from humiliation like this shows true power, and I'd definitely smash. Half of me wants Black to drop another rejection just to keep the White player on the market. Black plays, that's more my style, following into White's gambit and begging the man to take care of her dreams. You and I both know their house is going to absolutely reek of cigarettes and alcohol. Those are the smells of laughter and good times. Take notes, kid. Good move. White hits back with, finally, someone with class. So, when are we punishing grandmas and running over bicyclists, taking shit to a new level? Not only is this duo going to get addicted to substances, but they're going to commit some devious crimes. We need to get Batman on the case because these two are moving like prime Harley Quinn and the Joker. Not a single grandma is safe. Other than these activities being highly illegal and unethical, it builds a strong bond that only criminals can understand and is an excellent move. Depends when you are free. I'm currently on a pilgrimage, summer break. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure a pilgrimage is a religious event, so why on earth would Black be there if they plan on being a fiend after it? Hopefully, it sways them away from the crime lifestyle and saves the new Gotham City from being terrorized by the grandma-falling bandits. A pilgrimage might help Black, and being there is a brilliant move, but thinking of these things while they're there is a definite blunder. The only place that can save them is my Discord server, which you can join with a link in the description. Over there, we publicly execute people who do illegal things because it's fun to watch. An example of a crime is insulting me in any way, shape, or form, and entering my DMs. Please stop sending me DMs. Anyway, next, Ola Fly is Thali, short for Taliban, because you are bomb bomb bomb. White starts with the Orlos Gambit, making an edgy joke and getting ignored, which is hard to recover from and a mistake. They decide to follow up with Vale no fue mi mejor línea, lo arreglo con un café o una cena. Sad emoji. Yeah, I totally agree. I've never heard a more true sentence in my life. If I was to have a guess at what this means, it's probably asking if Black ignored them because they speak the language rather than English, and to be honest, this is a great move on the recovery. Black responds with, haha, hola, blank. Why claro, una cena mi parece estupendo. Probably laughing and confirming that they did not understand the joke due to a language barrier. This good move leaves both parties happy, and especially me. Don't worry guys, I'll start learning whatever language this is to accurately translate in the future. It's Russian, right? Next, White clearly feels and asks, can you take a picture of you right now? And I'm pretty sure we both know what they mean by picture. Any random man sending a text on iOS isn't going to be hunting for a cute selfie, they'd much rather be sent something far more sinister. That's why this is a mistake. Black sends a half-faced selfie and explains that I just woke up, crying emoji, trying to come up with an excuse for being chopped. As much as they are the victim in this situation, this excuse is but for some reason everyone uses the guaranteed miss. If you're chopped, then you're chopped, just say it how it is. White thinks differently though and says, not gonna lie, you're cute, what are you up to? And all I'm picturing is that meme where the camera zooms out to 600 or 700 Buzz Lightyear action figures in Toy Story. This is the most generic riz that any man can use, and even if it works in the occasional girl with low standards, the chances are even lower. Boring move. Just got my flu shot. What about you? Black honestly explains what they are up to, but this exposes their earlier move because how does someone just wake up but also just have their flu shot? Black really isn't helping themselves, and this inaccuracy further weakens their position. White responds to Black's questions with, oh, you're just here bored as let's have some fun, proposing a seemingly innocent offer, but only a fool would actually see it that way. Based on the nature of the game so far, it's very evident that White's looking for some suspicious fun rather than a traditional board game, which is a blunder. By the way, do you guys like Monopoly? I always win. Black now has a lot of opportunity to breach their opponent's defense, but instead of swiping them up, they play valid okay. Instead, not only have they basically said the exact same NPC reply twice, but they're setting White up perfectly to attack them with a miss. At this point, I've lost hope in Black, and White is probably going to be a very successful pervert. Let's have some naughty fun, are you in? Expanding on their previous move, White executes their trap in a definite blunder, because it's creepy as shit. Also, why do they use the word naughty? Like, bro. Someone needs to get their hands on his hard drive because there has to be some form of dodgy shit inside of it. Black has one more chance to defend, so push back with, no, sorry, not right now. Finally lock in and blocking off White's consistent threat with a brilliant move. Comebacks like this rarely happen, but bro had an insane redemption and all my respect for Black has been restored. White says, why? Let's do it real quick, confirming their victimization to a checkmate with a blunder. Begging does nothing for them except making them look desperate, which is even less of a good look. I'm so glad Black screenshotted this because White should be embarrassed as hell. Next, okay, I have a crush on my mom. How do I ask her out? Lots of question marks. Plex, tell me I'm too stupid. Oh brother, you're not too stupid, you're too psychotic. Having a crush on your literal mother is already cooked, but admitting your affection for her to a friend is just asking for yourself to be bullied out of town. White better have a valid passport because they need to leave the country ASAP now that this is out. What's even crazier is that the screenshotter didn't even blur out the name or profile picture, completely exposing this user to people who may have them added. If any of these people are real friends, bro is well and truly finished. I know I've already dished out a criminal move in this video, but I can't help but use it again here. Next stop, Alabama. Next, White states I'm a minor, preventing both players from getting into any legal trouble, and if Black happens to be too old, they have their chance to abort the game. But move. Black hits back with okay, and I never said I wanted anything weird, hitting a gray area because it's still weird talking to a random minor online, regardless of the intentions behind it. If I was a police officer, I would already have enough evidence to want to arrest the mother, but innocent until proven, I guess. I'm calling this a mistake because it isn't outright being illegal yet. You seem like a nice guy, but I don't feel really okay with talking to adults, and I don't know IRL. Thankfully, White listened in their internet safety classes back in school, and it paid off in a trophy move. They deserve Star of the Week or whatever they give out nowadays. Heck, they should even be awarded their pen license. I'm proud to say I was the second in my class to receive my pen license, but technically first because I slimed out the girl who got it before me. Black keeps pushing and sends, but why? My age doesn't define me, but unfortunately for the villain of the game, this is an accuracy because that isn't how society works, because age defines them by law. He can call it wrong all he wants, but I'm pretty sure we all agree it should be weird for an adult to contact a stranger in the form of a minor online. If anyone disagrees with that, I'm sure I'll see you in one of my future videos. White replies, I'm still not very comfortable talking to strangers, that's why I left the server, providing a valid reason for escaping what is probably the pedophilia headquarters. There's a lot of those on Discord. This great move takes a step back and gives the opponent a good idea for doing so, meaning if they're pursuing, it's even more obvious who the bad guy is. White asks, so what are you on Discord for? Isn't everyone a stranger until you get to know them, completely disregarding the fact that they said things are different when a minor is involved with a mistake. In principle, White hasn't said anything particularly arrestable, but they've definitely come close and lose the game as a result of this. Next, White uses the most unoriginal opening in the game that reads, "Hey, how old are you?" But despite being boring, it's the safe option, which a lot of people don't take. It's always a good move to check your opponent's age before starting the conversation. Black explains that they are underage in a forced move, scaring White away before it is too late for them to turn back. This play is very generous and stops a potential criminal record from being handed out. At least that's what it should do. In a state of denial, White asks, "Seriously, how old are you, lol," continuing to press towards in the hopes that Black was playing some sort of pointless prank. In my eyes, this is false hope at its finest and a certain mistake, but I won't judge too much yet in case it actually was humor from Black. Black doubles down with me and says underage, again confirming that their first move was not a mistake with an excellent move. Now White has absolutely no excuse to push further, and if they decide to, I will no longer be refraining from clowning on them. Underage is too young for me, lol, I'm 21. Oh damn, White is a normal dude. Absolute cinema and a great move. That's surprising considering they've double checked the age, but the only flaw here is that instead of ending the conversation, they left it open for response, which still gives it potential to be a go downhill. Let's hope it doesn't, unless you're rooting for White to be odd, which would be pretty strange. Okay, is the dry and boring move from Black in response, but in all fairness, I can also see why they did it. They just want to end the conversation, move on to a boy who is fresh into the double digits rather than a double digits veteran. The class is probably a better place to look than Snapchat, but oh well. White weirdly asks, "Are you 18 or older?" meaning one of two things. They have Alzheimer's or they want her to lie for legal reasons. They have Alzheimer's or they want her to lie for legal reasons. They have Alzheimer's or they want her to lie for legal reasons. Blunder, 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 blunder. I'm underage, not changing their answer. Black plays a good move on the defense by not making things too aggressive because of the slight chance of memory loss. The best move would have just been hitting the block button, but considering that they're underage, they've done a good enough job here to avoid ending up in a random dude's basement. White explains, "LMAO, I just want to know if you're 18 or older to see if you'd be down to chill sometime." And now both of my eyebrows are starting to raise. Black has stated their age not once, not twice, 3 times. My eyebrows are raising at this blunder. Did I mention my eyebrows are raising? For real though, the FBI needs to get involved in this case because it's actually a bit too serious to simply be dealt with by the Texas admins. We're not Roblox, we actually inform law enforcement because it's more important than kicking one account off an app. Okay, that's a joke, I don't actually inform law enforcement. Most of these messages are very old. Just had to give off that legal exclaimer. I'm underage. Black ends the game with a move that checkmates their opponent. There isn't really much else I can say. Next, White opens with, "It's okay, it's a safe space," and a wholesome good move, making their opponent feel comfortable so they can open up, which is some solid 4D chess if you ask me, getting Black to spill their secrets, which will surely secure the win. Black falls right into their trap and hits back with, "No it's not, I'm a predator, any place that includes me is not safe," allegedly, exposing something that should not be exposed with an outrageous move. This hasn't just cooked their chances of winning this tech chess game, but their chances of getting a job in the future because digital print is real, bro. Trust me, I know based on everything I've read out of this channel. There's probably enough voice recordings of me to get me locked up when AI gets too good. But so am I, so it's fine. Okay, why the f did nobody tell me that there was some sort of predator meetup or some shit? Is this an app built for predators to meet or something? Because what are the chances White and Black both have cursed minds? These two should be banned from sharing a cell when they go to jail because back-to-back outrageous moves are dastardly and culprits shouldn't be allowed to combine their powers, even behind bars. Encouraging the nastiest duo of all time, Black says, "We should have a baby and name him Predator Squared," and I'm pretty sure they mean kidnapping a baby above all. Moving aside the serious part, this is quite good humor from Black, but their future job interviews will end up saying otherwise. It was a joke, won't hold up, unless it's for a minimum wage McDonald's job. Blunder. OMG, yes, goals for real, explosion squared. Yeah, society is well and truly cooked. White goes to show that we have no help left, so AI might as well take us over at this point. Like, who's complaining? Next, White replies to a girl who would look hot if they were a guy with pinch emoji, ner, got your tongue, trying to act all quirky and playful, but in reality embarrassing themselves with a cornball move. Black responds with, "No, please, I need that for the yellow snow," playing along in what is a good move because people are allowed to have taste, but if someone opened up with a nose gambit to me, I'd already have swiped off the app and gone to Tinder instead. Don't worry, I'll eat the yellow snow then spit it at you, I'm a generous man. Throwing all his eggs in one basket, White plays a risky move and more than likely launched his phone across the room and started cleaning the house after setting it. As much as it's odd, I highly respect the odds of this great move. Black closes with hot, allowing White to checkmate her and eventually get himself inside her pants.
White opens with, "How old D?" Already a red flag. You didn't even spell it right. The Roblox Pred Gambit. Whenever the first move is asking for age on Roblox, you already know what type of player this is. It's like trying to find a fork in the kitchen. The eval bar instantly catches fire. Blunder. Black responds, "Underage. Is that too young?" Oh god, forced move, but it sets the pace of the game. The underage gambit. Basically saying, this is a trap. If you keep playing, you're walking straight into a felony. At this point, you either resign or get checkmated by Chris Hansen himself. White instantly throws his queen into the crowd. Nah, that's perfect. Excuse me? White actually accepted the underage gambit. He looked at a jail cell full of buff, oily men and said, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. Absolute criminal move, and Roblox still claims their platform is safe. Right. Black, pretending things are normal, replies, oh, okay. Another forced move. You can feel Black being paralyzed, staring at the screen, wondering how they went from playing Steal a Brain Rot to negotiating with a future Netflix documentary subject. Then White reveals his ultimate, BTW, 23, but I'm looking for Younga. We're lucky most predators are morons with 3 brain cells total, and those 3 are eating each other alive. This guy just casually self-reported a felony in real time. Someone get him banned. No, not from Roblox, from life. Blunder. Next, White opens with, do you have any hobbies? White opens up with a common opening. Not that bad, a good match starter. Hopefully this conversation doesn't derail, right? Book move. Black replies, oh, IDK if some are considered interests rather, but for me it's anime, gaming, car event. Black answers the opening and mirrors White's approach. He just lists hobbies like he's filling out a McDonald's job application. Oh, sorry for not censoring. Forced move. White latches on, oh, I like cars too. How old are you? Subtle but sharp aggression. White keeps pressing the age gambit, forcing Black to reveal pieces while pretending to play along, finally accepting the gambit. Excellent move. Black says, oh, nice, and I'm 26. Black finally accepts the age gambit. We might be about to see a normal human being, but no, we know where this is going. You read the title, forced move. White replies, I'm underage. Textbook response, mirrors Black by dropping their age. They've now set a trap. Will Black resign or keep playing? But we already know how this ends. Yes, you and we already know how this is about to happen. Good move. Black backpedals. I'm actually also underage. Oh, now we're time traveling. That's the Predator defense. Black aged himself down by almost 10 years in one move. I might actually believe he's a Giga Predator unlocking some demonic power. Mistake. White closes with dog. That's not a word, that's his brain hemorrhaging from this predator outing himself. I can't blame him, I'd be speechless too. Send this man to the brazen bull already. And with this, White resigned. Next, White opens up with, so good to see you. What exciting things have happened since we last caught up? Fake friendly opener, the Unk Gambit. He's pretending there's some history here to trick Black into lowering their guard. Nobody talks like this unless they're a long lost Unk or a scammer from Facebook. Blunder right out of the gate. Black replies, huh, just staring at the nonsense of the board and calling it what it is. Black already knows this conversation is headed absolutely nowhere. Forced move. White doubles down with, this is Maya, is this Diana phone number, right? The wrong number strategy, pretending to have the wrong contact to accidentally slide into the DMs. It's not clever, it's not smooth, it's a Predator script. Everyone knows what this is. Mistake. Black responds, no, ... I'm an underage girl, sideways face emoji. People keep mistaking me for other people. This should be the end. Black checks White and drops the age immediately. If White had any morals, he'd run away as fast as he could, as far as he could away from here. But Predators don't back down. They see this as a green light instead of red. Another forced move. White ignores all sanity and fires off, can you send selfie to me? And with that, White sheds his disguise and reveals his true intention. Straight up asking a minor for pictures. No hesitation, no morals, someone lock this creep up. Blunder. Black shuts it down immediately. Definitely not, I won't show a stranger my face. Solid defense, clean, mature response. Black handles it better than most adults would, especially the one across from them. Excellent move. White collapses fully. Why? I really like teen girl. And there it is. Not even trying to hide it anymore. He typed a direct confession in the match like he was drafting a Google Doc confession of himself. Mistake. Black ends it with, YK what? Kill yourself. Absolute cinema. Black said exactly what we all wanted to say, thinking completely off the board. This deserves a trophy move. Next, White opens with, what? I was just saying hey, question mark. Off rip, this match cannot be good. From the start, White probably did something suspicious or messed up to open like this, but we'll see. Book move for now. Black replies, look, I ain't trying to be rude gang, but I just ain't the one. I'm underage. Crying face emoji, praying hands emoji. This is my whole alt for jorking it. That age and horny sense or alt for jorking it shouldn't be in the same sentence. Kinda weird to be revealing this much information to your opponent. Massive inaccuracy. Black just told White his next 3 moves. White fires back with, I'm underage, question mark. This is the trust me bro defense. He thinks he's saying he's underage, which makes this somehow less illegal. And all he's doing is adding another line of evidence to the transcript. That question mark at the end is doing heavy lifting, like he doesn't even believe his own lie. Mistake. Black hits back with, Bio says you're 18, gang. Black parries White instantly by stating the facts and showing him information straight from his bio, masterclass, and a great move. White doubles down with, yeah, no duh, Yoi really think I'm saying my real age on my bio, question mark, crying face emoji. Lying about being older is also bad. This is a weak defense that easily falls apart. Could be true, or he's just pressured enough that he's moving random pawns. Inaccuracy. Black responds, either you're trying to get groomed or you're a groomer. Either way, you're an idiot, plus no underage, YO, uses emojis like that. Another perfect counter with a really well thought out move. White is either lying about being underage or he's a predator. Either way, he's cooked. Brilliant move. White tries to wiggle out, lol, I use all the emojis really, lol. White is panicking and really tries back trades, which makes him crack his mask and eval bar with weak excuses, hoping it stops Black. Mistake. Black goes for the throat. Prove you're underage, send me a photo of you cause I ain't believe you. Black threatens to mate White with this ballsy move, forking the queen of the night. Best move. White closes with okay. I don't see any pictures, buddy, but without enough proof I won't end the game and call White a predator. He's just really suspicious, or maybe a dumb kid that lies for no reason. With this, White resigned the game like a beaten dog. These 4 horrid matches are straight from my Discord members. Join the server, link in the description. Next, White opens up with, this is really weird because I used to babysit you when you were little and you were such a brat, but you seem really mature and chill now, so I was wondering if you wanted to hook up. This is the most heinous opening I've ever seen in my entire life, and that says a lot. Mentioning you used to babysit someone and then following it up with asking for a hookup is just straight up disgusting. We got Satan over here. Criminal move. Black responds, no dude. This is a solid defense, but a better move would have been resigning and reporting this pedophile to the authorities. You won't gain anything playing a match with this evolved predator. Forced move. White doubles down with, stuck up bitch. I could have had my way with you back then, and I didn't. I feel like you owe me this after I tolerated all your bullshit. And here comes the entitlement gambit. He admits he wanted to assault a child, but didn't, and now thinks that restraint earns him sex years later. What a delusional freak. Imagine how many other kids he had babysat, or if he's still doing it. Send him to the rack. Criminal move. Black trolls him. LOL, ugh, fine, you can hit it once, hearts around head emoji. Black, with a good bait, turned 180, and is now acting, throwing away a bishop to convince White. Best move. White bites instantly. FR, question mark, and there it is. White instantly drools. He saw the bait and sprinted straight into it, no questions asked. Forced move. Black delivers the execution. No, you fucking pedophile, get out of my DMs. Absolute cinema. Called him out and checkmated his desperate ass, equivalent of sacrificing your queen to get that sweet double night mate. Next, White starts with male 35. Wait a minute, look at his user, male 35 pedo, and he's proud of being a predator and not scared. The audacity. We already know this is going to be really, really, really bad just by his username. Regardless, his opening is normal. Sadly, book move. Black replies, I'm 25, mirroring White's age drop, but the best move would have been resigning and calling in Gideon. White dives in, question mark, well, who could have known that this man is bricked up and looking for something? If only there was an indicator somewhere. Geez, wish we had known. Inaccuracy. Black answers, not particularly. Good defense by Black, stopping White's aggression and maintaining a good distance. Good move. White follows with, what turns you on, question mark. White keeps shoving and pushing the predator opening even when someone says no. Classic behavior. Mistake. Black fires back perfectly, having my student loans paid off, tongue emoji, 3 water droplets emoji. Black deflects some more and tries to have the tide of the match turn to a more comedic momentum. Not a bad move. I remember being in debt because of student loans. It was worth it since I graduated top of my class at Harvard 4 years ago. I love education. Excellent move. White responds, PMSL. What does PMSL mean? I have no idea. Anyone know? Or is it just predator lingo? Inaccuracy simply because I do not know what that means. Black presses, what? Good response. No one knows what the hell PMSL means. He's making White explain himself, which is dangerous because predators always hang themselves with their own words, and hopefully in their cell too at some point. Good move. White then says I would pay them off. And here comes the predator tactics. He's trying to dangle fake money in front of someone like he's gonna buy intimacy after being proud of who he is. I wouldn't even want to know how he got money. Makes me sick. Forced move. Black checks him hard. You got 60,000 pounds lying around? Black tries to call White's bluff with that amount of money. 70,000 USD. Good defense, making White think twice or bluff some more, overextending pieces. Best move. White doesn't fold, he drops a nuke. If you had a little girl with you who we could have sexy fun with, then yes, I'm very, very sick to my stomach. I don't even know how these monsters live with themselves. How do you type that out and send it and be serious about it? Criminal move. Black immediately hits back with, you're a pedophile, question mark. I mean, it's his username. Black has the survival instincts of a lobotomized sunfish. Missed win. White confirms, yes. Unreal, he didn't even try to lie, just said yes. Like he was asked the most common question. Makes you think what type of protection he has to be so open and bold about it. Criminal move. Black ends with, okay, can you do me a favor? We already know what Black wants to say. It's the best finisher to any predator. Almost the word you can say every time you encounter one. Forced move. White, already defeated, says, kill myself. He knows people hate him and despise him, yet he is still out there. This is a sick individual to say it so casually like he was also expecting it. Forced move. Black finishes, I was gonna say turn yourself into the police, but that works too. Brilliant move. This move never gets old. It's like hitting that Maiden 4, the same ecstasy when my friend comes to visit for Netflix. Definitely no chilling at all, just Netflix. Next, White opens, hey, book move. Finally, one normal opening, a breath of fresh air. Black replies, hi, mirrored opening, another classic book move, giving us a breather. The board is calm, for now. White immediately drops, so are you a virgin, question mark. Straight into the creep Bambit. There it is, no provocation or prior trigger, and he just springs out with this disgusting question. Classic predator blunder. Black replies, I'm underage. Game-ending info right there. This is the point where a sane human resigns and logs off forever and reflects on how they got there. Forced move. White doubles down with, oh, okay, that means you are a virgin. Do you masturbate? Question mark. White ignores the age and keeps pressing with more incriminating moves, trying to overwhelm Black and score some sick win. Criminal move. If you want White to be put in the pair of anguish, like, subscribe, and maybe grab some merch while you're at it. Black answers WTF. You can feel the pure disgust in this move. I don't blame Black, I would say something worse. Forced move. White keeps pushing, come on, tell me, question mark, question mark. White isn't getting the pieces he wanted, so he just keeps pushing and tries to brute force away. Blunder. Black unleashes the killer trap. Auto reply, we have detected the transmission of unsolicited pornographic content with a minor of a potentially illegal nature, code 36489AL, and your device's IP address has been forwarded to the police department pending an investigation. If you think this is a mistake, reply stop. That's the checkmate copy pasta. Looks official, sounds terrifying, and you know predators are losing their shit when they read it. Absolute cinema. Brilliant. White completely panics. Stop and fuck off. Middle finger emoji, middle finger emoji, middle finger emoji. And there it is, the panicked resignation. He really thought typing stop was like unsubscribing from Netflix. Imagine committing a felony and thinking, nah, yeah, I said stop, so the FBI legally can't touch me. Followed by the classic triple middle finger, as if emojis were going to stop the SWAT team from kicking his mom's basement door down. Black wins by checkmate. Next, White opens with, hello young cutie, I'm 44, is it a problem? Could please answer me darling, that's not polite. Classic creep opener, the midlife crisis gambit, and he tries to guilt trip her for not answering fast enough. Imagine being so desperate you're complaining to someone in the first sentence. Mistake. Black responds, no, it's not a problem, there's no age restrictions for whale facts. Good rerouting by Black, I would rather listen to whale facts right now. I hope White wants it too. I have one off the top of my head. Closest cousins of whales are hippos. Good move. White tries to pivot with, whale facts? I can show you a big and fat fact if you want, cutie. He really thought that was smooth. He took the whale metaphor and instantly turned it into his little cucumber flex. Despicable defense inaccuracy. Black fires back with, how about we just stick to whales for now? This is Black solidifying her position and reinforcing it with more pawns, trying to make the whale gambit work. Forced move. White doubles down with, it's better than a whale, darling, I'll show you. He really thinks his little Vienna sausage outshines a 30-ton aquatic mammal. Buddy, a whale's tongue weighs more than your entire existence. Sit down. Mistake. Black goes nuclear with, I don't want to see your 2-centimeter acne ravage full of unwashed pre-cock. Absolute amazing defense. I'm really an imaginative person and I can see that shit in 3D spinning in my brain, so thanks, I guess. Brilliant. White, flustered, throws out, tell me when you'll get wet, brat, screw you. He really thinks someone is getting turned on by the way he talks. These types of people live in delusion and they think they're all that. You are not me, buddy. I get all the hot single girls in my area, of legal age, of course. Blunder. Black casually asks, anything else you want to say? Black just moved his king, taunting White with it, and rubs it on his face because he can't do anything about it. Great move. White says, f you deeply. Weak, boring, and generic. At this point, he's just recycling corn dialogue like it's gonna land. Pathetic miss. Black caps back with, before I post this on Reddit. Black was doing great until they mentioned Reddit. Like I said before, you'll just get spawn camped on Reddit. Mistake. White panics with, WTF, no you won't, little girl. White's still clinging to the fantasy, still using creepy words, and still trying to make it work, but he's too gooned out to see or think clearly. Blunder. Black corrects him with, yes, I will say hello, r/creepy PMs. Another miss. White, fully tilted, spits out, not sure about that, suck my dick. White lashes out and cries like a man baby. Someone come get their creepy grandpa. Wait, on second thought, nah, don't touch him. Blunder. Black tries to end him with, I'll make sure not to suck that repulsive tiny cock. Black doubles down on White's 1-inch wrinkly, soggly, putrid, tiny microscopic needle. This is just wonderful to see. Black might be a Redditor, but they're not too bad. Brilliant. White responds with, fuck you, and also hello Reddit. He just accepted his fate and said hello to Reddit. Couldn't be more pathetic. Just turn yourself in or get some help. Christ. Miss. White seals the game with, good boy. Trophy move. This move was advanced. This match was old as shit. This just shows how good this move is. It's timeless. There's no coming back after obeying someone's command and getting hit with the good boy. Just pack it up. It's over for you. Next, White opens with monkey face emoji, monkey face emoji, monkey face emoji. White starts us off with the emoji gambit. 4 monkey hiding their faces emojis. Looks pretty normal so far. A weird way to start a match, but hey, that's text chess, move. Black responds with, kiss your daddy goodnight, lol, sleep tight, princess. It's kinda creepy, but maybe they're 2 consenting adults who enjoy stuff like this. Who am I to judge? Book move. Then Black actually sends a selfie. Oh god, it's EDP445. Why would you even send that picture? Shirtless, sideways, looking extra creepy. I'm not even being mean, it just looks off. Blunder. It's like whooping up your rook that has been chewed by princess and cupcake. White reacts with thinking face emoji, kissy face emoji spam. Not sure if White is serious or just playing along, but these are the most hollow emojis I've ever seen. Good move. Black, a kiss. EDP asks for kisses. I can't get his picture out of my head making kissy faces. Mistake. White claps back with, aw, hashtag me too. White still mirrors every move by Black, still repulsive to me, forced move. Black gushes, you're just so damn cute. Black glazes his victim in hope of cupcakes for later. He thinks he's actually loved, blunder. White says, that's all you. More mirroring by White, continuing to mirror EDP445 and trying to grab more information if I remember correctly. Good move. Black doubles down with, aw, stop, you're gonna make me blush. I can't stomach this anymore. The amount of W's, maybe 8 of them, I don't know, but he's completely hooked, no self-awareness, and accuracy. White flips it with, too bad, what are you gonna do about it? White says an incredible bait to out Black completely. Here we go, great move. Black goons out with, you're such a sassy little shit. I love it, lol. Come to your house, climb through your window, and kiss your cute ass passionately. That's the only solution I can think of. Black loses it and expresses his fantasy towards a minor, completely revealing his predator side. Criminal move. White completely ignored that move with, do you want to call tonight? White is probably disgusted by that move, completely ignores it, and tries to change the topic. Forced move. Black closes with, handcuff you, throw you in the back of my car, and bring you back to my dungeon, lol. Black is not done spazzing out about his fantasies. What a despicable piece of garbage. Outrageous move.
With, your phone is now hacked. Do exactly as I say, and I'll remove the hack. If you don't, then I'll destroy your phone. If you try to block or report me, I'll still destroy it. Now send your age and a live face pic to prove you're real, revealing that they have no idea what they're talking about on the offense. If White really hacked Black, then they would already have their goddamn photo and age. Inaccuracy. Black hits back with, what kind of phone am I on? What OS? Not falling for the trap. If White was a hacker, they would know this info, making it the perfect confirmation of danger and a best move. You have 30 seconds to send them before I destroy it. White chooses to ignore the counter from White, making it super obvious that they have absolutely no power over their device. Taking a wild guess would have been a smarter move than this mistake. At least then there would have been a mild chance of success. Black picks this out and says, you didn't answer my question, which is the coldest counterattack possible. White is being pinned against a wall harder than a shopping cart in the mall parking lot on Black Friday, and trust me, I've been pinned like that before. This is definitely an excellent move. White replies, I don't need to, in a blunder, and they clearly do because otherwise they're basically throwing away the match. My man's giving out free elo like it's Christmas or some shit. It's been more than 30 seconds is Black's response, looping back to an earlier message like a genius. Now White looks like a dumbass who is all talk, which they are, but that isn't my point. This move confirms that, which is why it has to be brilliant. White explains yup, and it's getting destroyed in a pathetic parry. It's clearly not getting destroyed if Black is still playing the game. The only thing getting destroyed is their scam after this blunder. You didn't really plan ahead for people taking you up on your bullshit, did you? Black points out White's lack of a plan B, and having a liable plan B is a necessity to win games of text chess. Black plays a good move by calling out White's lack of one and starts the push for checkmate. White replies, yes, I just destroy it, you think I can't? And if I got paid 1 cent for every time bro threatened to destroy the phone without doing it, I'd be able to afford 5 minutes with their mom. At this point, White just needs to give up and move on to their next victim because it's clear that Black isn't falling for it. Blunder. Black gets back with, I'm still waiting on that. Look, I'm gonna go get some lunch, you have fun with hacking my phone, showing their lack of care, and giving White time to conjure up their next move. For the reason of giving White time to get themselves out of this mess, I'm calling this a miss. A better move would have been a bit of good old rage bait. Next, White kicks us off with a heart emoji, which is a pretty weird way to open a match, but a book move nonetheless. It's actually the most common emoji opening, but used by low elo players mostly. Could've just said hey to play it safe, but I guess not. Black, clearly confused, responds with hello, and this is a pretty goddamn rational response to a person sending a love heart. Looks like it wasn't love at first text for White. Good move. White asks, what's up? How are you doing? Making things more normal by taking a more laid-back approach. I have to call this a good move because there is nothing wrong with it, although the bad impression has already been made. I'm good, is Black's forced move a response because at this point they're just responding for the sake of it. Also, why the fuck are they still playing it safe? What a sniveling little coward. It's so obvious that they do not want to be here. White jumps into the scam with, sounds great, and I'm doing perfectly well myself as I recently benefited from the ongoing personal and business grant program. Have you heard about the grant program yet? And this blunder couldn't be more obvious of a scam. My guy went from the basic emoji opening to the pyramid scheme gambit in record time. We are deep in the trenches of low elo text chess. No actual business opens up negotiation with a damn love heart. At least most don't. Black replies, wow, Nona, that sounds amazing! Please tell me more! Were they the ones that were able to bring you back to life since you died last year? And what an absolute miss. How the f did my man read this and think, yep, this is normal. Oh wait, they're not done. F***ing slimy cunt. Stop trying to scam people. I hope you die in a barn fire, period. Now that is what I'm talking about. This piece of absolute cinema is making me revoke the miss and make it a brilliant move. This amazing attack penetrates every hole that White has to offer, literally obliterating them. Wait, not every hole. Anyway, it also confirms the checkmate in style. Next, hey there! This is Kevin from K Capital, period. I see you had filed for working capital in the past 6 months, period. I can up to 5mm and terms up to 24 months, period. I can do daily, weekly, bi-weekly payments, Are you still looking for funding at a better term, White opens with the most NPC message ever, and I think I'd rather read all the Dork Diaries books than this boring book move. Black hits back with, hello Kevin, I fucked your wife, escalating the move instantly with a crazy offensive move. This is great rage bait used on an obvious scammer though, so it is definitely a great move. White replies, let's get you funded, deflecting the insult with a best move, continuing his business proposal as the bills do not pay themselves. I would know. The bill collector is probably breathing down his neck as we speak, and he is gripping on me at the same exact time. Black responds, your wife has a tight ass. Going deep into detail now. It sounds like detail isn't the only thing that Black's gone deep into either. I'm quite jealous. This great move continues the attack and forces White to defend again. I know, I eat it every night. Let's get you funded! Is White's brilliant counter, and I'm in utter shock. Bro broke character just to take a hanging piece. It is a brilliant move that you cannot appreciate. Let's get White funded instead. Black responds, ha 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 ha, ha ha ha, thanks for the laugh dude, but I gotta pass, crushing White's hope instead of selling their scam with a good move. Laughing before saying no was not tough though. Next, I am James and I am asked to message you. Your brother has been robed and hurt, in need of care.
Please cash out $450 through me, please. We all know, yes, you and me, that you're supposed to send a picture of the hostage to confirm they're real. Rookie mistake. Damn, bro took Black's brother hostage and broke the opening principle for it. Black hits back with, my brother Boimler is in Bratislava this week, period. And what the fuck is that name? It sounds like a failed Harry Potter spell, but forces White into a corner. This is a good move for proving White wrong. White replies, yes, it is him at that place. A doctor is required fast. In another mistake, because if this story is true, the doctor would be phoning them for a $10,000 bill, not a $450 ransom from a random man on the internet. White's attempt to funnel money from Black is already dead in the water, like my chances of not dying alone. Unless I find the guy, I meant women, for me. Black then says, so I don't send the money quickly, Boimler might die, ? Like a literal dumbass. This scam might actually work because Black has missed it with, you guessed it, a miss. Their brain needs to be studied because it might be missing too. Yes, a danger is present. Will you send the money fast? White starts to push for checkmate by starting to secure the money with an excellent move. The best move would have been sending their bank details alongside the message to speed up the process though. White then drops a plot twist. I think not, period. When he dies, I receive $125 million from his will, period. Please tell him I said goodbye, ! What a trophy move. This dude knew it was a scam all along and has finally trolled the scammer, revealing their time has been wasted. You have gotta love it. You are wicked and hell waits for you is Black's response, and I think hell would rather invite the person who tried to steal $450 than the winner of a text chess match. Definitely an inaccuracy. Next, White starts with, hello, I'm Lisa from Higher Art USA. Are you interested in a flexible remote position? ? And any semi-functioning human would not trust this shit. We all know that a job offering coming out of nowhere is way too good to be true. This is a common book move in the scam world, and everyone, yes, you and me, that is included, have received this message at least once. Black hits back with, your mom's interested in flexible positions, completely debunking the scam and attacking White with an excellent move. It's so excellent that White resigns the match faster than a gamer pulling the plug after getting teabagged twice. Also, you should join my Discord pretty fast too, because it lets you submit messages from my videos. Next, hello, how are you doing today is White's polite and neutral book move opening that aims to keep things friendly. A common trick used by scammers to gain trust from potential victims. Black sees right through it and says, just send me the virus link, in a great move on the defense. If you're gonna scam, you might as well cut to the chase and save both players some time. White sees the vision and sends the virus link right over, and even the link looks suspicious as fuck. http://sas-autos.com/ link equals 253723311/T5G9Y/?SC equals 1 and SC equals 1 and I equals 1 and PPY equals 3990999. Yeah, if you click that shit, you deserve whatever virus it contains. Inaccuracy. Next, White asks, what happened to Finn? ? I'm Sophia, period. Are you beefy? ? Is it ? Trying the gambler's gambit. This is when scammers take a wild guess at their opponent's name, so if it's right, they gain some authority. Beefy is a questionable mistake of a guess though, I must say. Adolf would have had a higher odd than that shit. Black hits back questioning, what the kind of name is Beefy? And I have to agree with this forced response. The only thing I think of when I hear beefy is the beefy melt from Taco Bell. Those things are fire. Yes, sorry, I entered a few wrong numbers, sorry to bother you, period, is White's mistake of an attempt of defending the attack, and not gonna lie, the only acceptable move here would have been resignation and a learning experience. Beefy doesn't even come up on mynamestats.com, that's when you know how bad bro fumbled. Black replies, look man, if you're gonna run this scam, you gotta change the name away from beefy, what the hell is that? Offering advice to the scammer. Personally, I wouldn't help this man because they have the potential in the scamming industry of a glitter bomb at a funeral. Ain't no one gonna invest in that mistake. White gets all defensive and says, I'm very sorry, you are a kind and polite person, period. Have a nice day, period, before resigning the match, but just before they hit the resign button. Black sneaks in, wrong, in all caps, and checkmates just in time. Absolute cinema.
Next, White accuses, I have pictures of you doing bad things from your computer camera, period. I have also installed virus on your computer that can monitor everything you are doing, period. I will send the pictures of all your contacts if you don't listen, period. Kindly text me back at this number and I will tell you how to pay the fine, period. What does bro mean fine? This isn't a goddamn parking ticket. This good move is actually crafted quite well though, especially if Black is a gooner who has edged a lot in front of their camera before. Black replies, knock yourself out, blood, taking things as seriously as a toaster at a barbecue competition. They clearly see right past a scam and have no fear in their second being leaked even if they do have it out there. Probably because it's massive. If that's the case, I might want to take a look, just for, scientific measures. Great move. I am seriously, period. If you don't pay, you will be very sorry and very embarrassed. White hits back with an inaccuracy, continuing their scam. Making a spelling mistake against someone who is clearly gonna rage bait you is not smart. Asterisk, serious. I knew it. The best move from White aims to piss off the scammer and begins to threaten a very promising checkmate. Black would be stupid to not resign. Fortunately, they are stupid, and Black responds, okay, be like that, in a miss. The best move would have been to leave straight away. Oh, and to like and subscribe. Next, 1000. Hey, it's Walmart's 40th birthday! Exclamation point. Join us for today's $1,000 gift card giveaway now! Exclamation point. Offer expires at 5 p.m. White plays a good move because this scam would definitely work on all the boomers out there. Oh, and British people, somebody please invest in their dentists. Black responds with an image showing the actual age of Walmart, which is 56 years, completely disproving their scam without even speaking. Bro's message has more aura than all the anime villains combined, giving this a brilliant move. Next, White says, hello, my name is Simon from Barclays Bank, period. Can I have your bank details, PLZ? Many thanks, Simon. Hello, question mark, bank details, PLZ, which is a crazy opening. My guy started begging for the bank details before rejection even came. You can tell this guy has lost a lot of matches recently with this mistake. White cannot be bothered with a player like this, so chooses to abort the match before it properly starts. Next, White asks, Ella, are you working today? Question mark. A basic book move opening, simply trying to figure out some information. At least that's what they want you to think. Black replies with, yes, keeping this simple vibe with a good move. Damn, this is the most chill opening we've had in the video so far. Nobody has lost the $1 trillion yet. I'm Annie, dear, have you forgotten me? Question mark. Is White's response followed up with a picture of themselves. I'd say they're hot, but it isn't a guy. This great move reminds Black of who White is, just in case they aren't aware. White is aware and replies, no, I remember, and something about this good move tells me that this people have some bad history. These guys definitely have some lore that goes longer than One Piece. Oh, ... Sorry, I entered the wrong number. I hope you don't mind me, but nice to meet you. I'm Annie. Okay, this is the most body bot that has been botted in the history of bots. It couldn't be more bait that these responses are automated because White literally said they remember. That means it isn't the wrong number. Dumbass clanker. Outrageous move. White responds, no, it's right number. I am Ella, introducing themselves back to the bot, clearly trolling in some way. Or maybe they're not. Maybe they're actually into these oil drinkers. If that's the case, I will refer them to character AI. Good move. Black, aka the Nut Muncher, replies, can you send picture? Question mark. And I know exactly what kind of scam this wireback is trying to pull off. It's one of these things where they try to trick their victims into thinking a woman actually likes them. After that, they ask for money to fly out, and then poof, the victim is left wondering where their supposed love at first text has despawned to. Since it's so obvious, I'm grading it a blunder. For the picture, White sends a communist man, followed by, Annie, do you like my pic? Question mark. Annie. With an amount of eyes, I would rather hang myself than count. This troll got a little giggle out of me, which is why it's a great move. Next, White starts with, hi, your FedEx package with delivery code : and then a code I don't want to read, is ready for pickup at : the website. This is clearly an automated message, and we all know that it's illegal inside of text chess. Letting a stupid clanker make the moves for you should not be allowed. Mistake. Black hits back with, hi, exclamation point. Welcome to online casinos, exclamation point. Thank you for placing a bet by entering your number into our system, exclamation point. £50 has been charged from your number, exclamation point. And holy shit, this move reveals the biggest crossover in history. Two scammers have collided. White is probably shitting themselves after reading this great move, and the reply shows definitely that. What no cancel? Cancel don't take my money. Cancel the bet is White's way of literally begging like a little bitch. White plays another mistake here by allowing Black to take the game by the scruff of the neck and taking the weaker position. Considering how obvious the scam was, I can see why they are so desperate to keep 50 pounds. That's likely all they have. Black replies, "Thank you for placing an additional bet into our system!" 100 pounds has been charged from your number! And while this is obviously not true, White's a dumbass making this an excellent move. All White needs to do is open their bank account to see this isn't real, but their brain functions clearly as fast as a sloth. No, stop, please cancel the bet, I beg you. White closes the game with a blunder, allowing themselves to get checkmated. If only they just checked their goddamn bank. It isn't that hard.
White's profile says, "All I ask is that you play basketball, watch NBA with me, and be 6 foot tall, maybe a couple inches, give or take, so I know I would manage to pull this woman. My dit is definitely 6 feet tall, but it's a bit expectant needing every man with a chance to have a chopped like Drake and me. A rookie mistake because 99% of prospects have been wiped out with this one." Black hits back with, "I could give or take a couple of inches to you for sure," playing a great move trying to get into their opponent's pants before even breaching their side of the board. Cutting straight to the chase is what made this offensive move so successful, and if White wants to keep their pieces, they're gonna have to defend. I think I wouldn't mind. Also, please don't tell me you're a Leo, man. We are under a minute into the video, and White has mentioned star signs, so I regret being here and being born. I've never understood women who judge a man based on where they were born, but to each their own, I guess. Under my rules, it is and always will be a blunder, though, ending the game badly for White. Next, Black explains, "We love a confident woman using a traditional book move to get the conversation going with a compliment. Moves like this can make the game go in any direction, and it all depends on the playstyle of the opponent. Let's hope this one is aggressive because you and I want some entertainment." White responds with, "We equals you and your credit card," playing the gold digger gambit in a mistake, shoving a red flag into Black's face like there's no tomorrow. If Black is smart, he will resign the game immediately, but something tells me this isn't going to be the case. Black plays, "Well, at least the confidence is surely there," and while this might be sarcastic, it's still shameful that he sees a positive in White's mistake. White is going to mine gold from him like a broke OnlyFans creator, squeezing every last renewal out of a loyal top tier simp, so the only good move here would have been resigning. "Just trying to show out for you, baby. Kiss." White plays an excellent move trying to seduce their opponent into becoming an infinite money glitch. For some men, all it takes is being called baby or daddy, and all of a sudden they forget everything bad you've done and go all in. Trust me, I know. For conspiracy reasons, that was a joke and I am perfectly straight. Black regains some independence by pushing back with, as one confident person to another, "If you want yo get shopping, you better get to slopping." And I haven't heard a better one-liner in my life. Not only does it fit the perfect situation, but it provides a win-win situation for both players in a brilliant move. While it's still a bit embarrassing to have money to give someone to get you guac guac, but in this situation, you can't really fault it. White replies, "I'll take care of you," accepting the deal with a good move and bringing the game closer to a stalemate. Both of these players probably feel like a giddy child on Christmas Eve now, because who doesn't want someone's credit card and who doesn't want their sloppy toppy? I've never seen two players walk out of a text chess battle with their heads held so high. Who TF allowed a woman to get game like this? Ref? On the surface, there is nothing wrong with this move, but one flaw is that White will not understand Black's ref joke. Of course, it means a sports referee is needed to review the situation, but for all the huzz knows, it can mean reference or even rambunctious fiddlers. Missed opportunity for a stalemate and a miss in general, serving the win to White on a golden platter. Next, White opens with a question mark, throwing us into what looks like a pre-established game, making this move very hard to analyze. The only suiting rating is a boring move, because without our knowledge, what does it actually do for the game? Black creates conflict and replies by acting like you know what you're doing, but you don't, accusing their opponent of being an idiot, which is a traditional way of offense going down as a good move. It sets up some nice forms of attack and also doesn't open up their defense too much in order to prevent counterattacking potential for White. White asks, "What's Buddy on?" using the most condescending pet name on the planet. Being called buddy is a low that only people who have been called buddy can understand, because not only does it make you sound like 6 years old, but it also makes it sound like the speaker doesn't like you. Black plays a great move by using this and creating a fork on two different pieces. Choosing to reply honestly, Black answers a lot of things: Coke, grass, and you and I both know that bro isn't talking about Coca-Cola. You better hope the government isn't watching this, because they'd be at his door ASAP about this type of use. The only chance he has of getting away with this is if it's the government from Stranger Things, because those motherfuckers are about as useful as a butter knife against steel. It's a definitely mistake for snitching on yourself like this. In shock, White replies, "The hell?" making it clear that they are an innocent suburban child and don't know about the lifestyle Black lives. This good move doesn't do anything wrong, but at the same time, I can't think of any way it actually benefits them, because it neither defends or attacks. Pretty useless if you ask me. Black plays "Get out, you're not tough," acting like they weren't the one trying to act tough a few minutes ago, flexing about the substances they've been misusing. You can't get away with hypocrisy like this in such high elo lobbies, and it almost always results in a blunder, with this play proving it.
Oh no, I'm angry. Locking the opponent, white starts their offense by executing a fork and capturing black's rook. This excellent move indirectly calls out black for their rage bait shenanigans and of course breaks free from them in amazing style. Black tries to push back with get out, which has to be one of the most brain dead moves I've seen in a while. After saying get out and getting a blunder for it, black somehow came to the decision to do the exact same thing again. Surely they're trying to lose on purpose after this blunder. It's either that or white's playing against a literal gorilla. They've played Minecraft before, so it wouldn't surprise me if one hopped on text chess. Nice rage baiting bud, laughing emoji. White laughs in the face of black, asserting true dominance, and they might as well squish them like a bug. From the very beginning, black had no chance in this game, but to be fair to him, he had no idea who he's going to queue against the Magnus Carlsen of entitled DMs. Clearly black isn't ready for the big leagues yet, and they get steamrolled by this brilliant move. Black simply replies, yeah, I know, I'm so good, speaking utter nonsense before resigning the game immediately. Quitting is the best shit they've done all game, but it was way too late if they wanted to avoid being embarrassed. I wouldn't be surprised if they uninstalled after this nightmare. Next, nice. Can you draw for me? White reaches out with a book move, making a basic request to their opponent who probably posted drawings onto a social media account. Black responds with, thank you, hug emoji. Yes, I can. I take commissions, charging money for their services like a good little businessman, and a great move. Drawing of all jobs definitely takes a lot of time, so you can't blame them for wanting money, even if it's for a friend or even a family member. White asks, what is commission? And behind that screen, I can imagine that one gif of Patrick Starr drooling like his mouth is a waterfall. This is the type of kid you find in the bottom set of math, because playing a miss like this is the only for the least intelligent text chess players on the planet. Sorry if any of you don't know what a commission is, I'm joking of course. Black answers, well, in order, it requires money just like any other job. Keeping their cool and explaining in a professional way, but they were definitely wheezing when they asked what a commission was. Luckily, they know how to stay composed in situations where they need to sell something, which you gotta respect as it's an excellent move. Composure is key when it comes to selling things to people. Turning into the IRS, White starts to press questions such as, you pay taxes, you registered under the government, and we might have an FBI agent on our hands here. If this is meant to be an undercover operation, it's already failed because if Black has any wits about them, they'll know this is a bad idea and ignore the message right away. The questions are good, but the execution not so much, making this an inaccuracy. Black replies, not really, I do this as a hobby and I earn less than $300 a month, so I don't pay taxes for it. Playing defensively now, Black is made to explain themselves in a forced move, and they do a great job of it. $300 a month is next to nothing as far as the IRS are concerned, so if any message is to push them out of their DMs, it's this one. Lying point blank, White says, you know that is illegal, how much you charge per draw, and I think I see what they're doing now. Instead of trying to expose Black for not paying their taxes, White is on a mission to use blackmail to get a discount. This is extremely unethical and a mistake, but it isn't enough to be banned by the text chess admins. Depending on how op this turns out, we might have to change that rule though. White continues by explaining, you can draw for me and my wife for free, not paying you since you aren't registered. I knew it. This blackmail is an outrageous move, and as much as I wish I could change the rules mid-game and ban this bitch, I can't, so we have to see how it plays out. Black stands by themselves and replies, I don't draw for free, not allowing themselves to get fooled by this evil player. I'm pretty sure they're confident they're doing nothing wrong since they earn literally $300 a month, which is nowhere near taxable income, so it's an excellent move not to allow this blackmail to extort them. Going down a different route, White explains, but you can draw for practice. But someone making money from art does not need any practice, which is why I'm grading this a mega inaccuracy. From the sounds of it, White should be the one trying to learn because they're clearly struggling for money at the moment if they can't buy an art piece for their wife. It wouldn't surprise me if they were spending all their money on OnlyFans because a degenerate trying to use blackmail could definitely be a degenerate in other ways too. Black tries to keep peace and responds with, if I ever want to practice and have no inspiration, I will message you, smiling face. This brilliant move tries to keep White from being pissed off, but you and I both know that bro is not going to message with an offer for free art, especially after being falsely alarmed for tax fraud. It's a defense almost impossible to penetrate, and White is going to struggle in getting anything through it. Taking this as a definite, White demands, okay, I need it by April since my wife's birthday, so do it by then. The lack of manners in this message is horrible and way too expectant to get any praise, so I'm grading it a blunder. The least you can do is be polite to someone you're trying to get them to do work for you for free of charge, but clearly White woke up on the wrong side of the bed, or maybe they fell off. I'll do it whenever I'm free, I can't promise doing it before April. I hate to say it, but Black is a pussy. This mistake lets all of White's disrespect slide and even keeps the potential of doing the drawing back on the table, which is crazy. The best move would have been sending something offensive, but clearly Black couldn't hurt a fly. White asks, where do you live? Getting even more aggressive than before, and who knows what they could do with his address. They could threaten to dox it, move like Prime King Vaughn and Slime Black, or even kidnap their entire family and hold them hostage like Duolingo in 2022. No matter where you look at this move, it's clear that intentions are bad, but against Black, it's likely to work, so a good move. Black stands their ground and pushes back with why, making White explain themselves in a great move, but in order to truly execute it, the follow-up has to be perfect. I'm calling the police on you, bitch. You think you can get away with illegal stuff? bitch. Nothing about this is illegal, and White is banking on White having less brain cells than a catfish who sends crop pictures and acts shocked when nobody believes it's them. I assure you, I'm not talking from experience. For real though, this mistake undermines the opponents being lenient so far and gives them way too much of a chance. Revealing their idiot status, Black responds with, okay, I'll do it before April, losing aura at a rate that I can't even comprehend. Getting blackmailed with a law that isn't even real is a new low, and to be honest, Black deserves it for being so ignorant. Blunder. Ha 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 ha. My bad, the AI I don't know what's going on with it lately. Got scared of police. White uses their newfound power in this situation to laugh in the face of Black without any repercussions, and as much as this is bullying at this point, it does the job in the sense of trying to win a text chess game and is a great move. Black simply replies, yeah, in a state of depression, because who wouldn't be when they're forced into doing labor? This forced move might as well be labeled as slavery at this point, because I'm convinced bro would do anything for White at this point. White says, good, stay in your senses, and then asks, done, can I see progress, preparing to offer the most harsh criticism of his life. God forbid Black sends the work, because there's no chance it gets any praise from this pure evil White player. However, I'm grading this an excellent move, because it threatens to capture the king and advances towards a win. In response, Black states, I haven't started, in a brilliant move, refusing to work hard for obvious reasons. Of course, it's still bad that they're making the drawing in the first place, but this little spark of independence could turn into a fire for all we know, and save Black from losing. Damn, this game is poetic as fuck. Hurry up is White's next command, demanding faster work like he owns his opponent with a great move. The capital letters really seal the deal here, and if Black tolerates it, it's safe to say they are way too far gone to have any chance at winning. I hate ruling players off early, but in times like this, I think it's reasonable. Oh my lord, Black has done it. You're not even paying me. Do you really think it is fair of you to boss me around like this? It is quite rude. If you really want a drawing that fast, I will give you one really quick, but do not complain if it doesn't reach your standards. That right there, guys, is peak character development. Bro went from a little twink who gets beat like a piñata to complete independence with a brilliant move, realizing that this Neek literally has no power over them. Not realizing that Black has cut off their puppet strings, White demands, okay, do ASAP, even sketch is okay, clearly missing the crucial information with a miss. White sends the most obvious rage bait sketch ever, and these two characters are chopped as shit. I wouldn't be surprised if Black drew this with his ass, and there's no way it doesn't make White mad, making it a trophy move. WTF is this? WTF? What is this? WTF? What the fuck is this? Reply back. We do not look like this. Are you blind? Reply back. Reply now or I'm calling the police. You know I can see when you see my messages, right? You think I'm stupid? I'll report you to the police for not giving taxes. F you. Yeah, maybe Black got to him. This blunder confirms an eventual checkmate for Black, forcing White to resign the game and avoid all humiliation. The best bet for him to recover is joining my Discord server using the link in the description. Not only can you get good at text chess with feedback, but your DMs could end up in videos. And by the way, what did Black have here? Was that a job? Anyways, I'm so sorry for all of those slurs. I should have given a trigger warning. Anyway, next, O looks around nervously. Haha, hey there, cute face. White confirms their D1 Gooner status off the rip by using asterisks, and I literally want to shrivel like a raisin. Moves like this never fail to make me uneasy, and it has to be a certified cornball move. If you think of a way to argue against this, you're probably a cornball too. Black asks, clearly fearing just as uneasy as me, which I'm gonna guess is not what White wanted. Black plays a good move, showing their opponents that they are weird, but in a discreet way to not indirectly insult them too much. White continues the roleplay and says asterisk, whips it out, asterisk, turning a semi-normal conversation into an 18+ novel in a matter of seconds. You're lucky YouTube doesn't collect IDs before videos, because 90% of you would be looking at a blank screen right now, but it probably wouldn't upset you. I'd rather look at a solid white wall for 15 hours than this mistake. It's fucking tinier than a 5-year-old steals a brain rot iPad kid's attention span. Damn, that's small. Black goes on the mega offensive, dropping a very personal insult, but my main question is, how does he know this information? Also, I don't think size matters, which definitely gives the insult less of effect. Mistake. Quite simply, White replies, "Fuck you," the traditional response that players defend with when they have nothing better to say. It usually works a treat, but any good player knows that it's a cheap cop-out and a missed opportunity for something better, hence a miss. Black hits back with, "That's what I did to your mom last night," and insults this bad belong in elementary school, definitely not high elo text chess messages. Black plays a blunder here because there were only so many insult opportunities, but he decided to choose the single-handed worst one. You know what, replace that blunder with a cornball move, I don't care if I've used it already. Next, White kicks us off with great date with a nice fine dining experience, maybe a bouquet of roses, smiling face, which is a very expectant first date to want. You have to think of first dates like an investment, so why would you pour in lots of money into fine dining if the chances of a return are half and half? I can tell this person doesn't gamble, which is obviously a bad thing because I gamble every day, and that's a mistake. Black replies, "I promise to be a gentleman, but I think a first date should be fun and easy. Let's start with drinks or coffee and see if you can charm me into planning that fancy dinner," winking emoji. See, this guy knows his shit. A coffee date is a simple, 5 $5 investment, white is way more worth it for a first date. He also sneaks some riz in there at the end, which rounds off in an excellent move. I can tell this guy has learned from experience. OMG, sure, come for coffee to Edgewater, Miami. Just confirm which morning I'm available. And I don't have to charm anyone for the dinner. I can buy myself whatever dinner I want. But I'm allergic to cheapskates. You should know that, winking face. Maybe you should find some American girl within your budget who will be excited to go to Target or Starbucks with you, winking face. Russian ladies are not for beginners. White hits back with a very long move and isn't even finished. They then send a TikTok recorded by Black and say, "You gave me even more cringe at the end, laughing emoji. Probably we shouldn't meet at all. Good luck." His blunder really makes no sense. Last time I checked, it was White trying to set up a luxury date, and Black was clearly being asked out, not the other way around. I doubt he cares that much, and if anything, he's probably laughing at how much time White wasted here. Hey, by the way, do you remember that guy earlier with the job? Sorry, I can't help it. Anyway, next, may I ask something? A book move from White gets the game going and leaves two possible requests for their opponent: listen or turn off their phone and end the game early. Black chooses to allow it and replies, "Sure, shoot," inviting the question and allowing the game to progress instead of aborting, like I should have been. This is for sure the fun move, but whether or not it's the best move, time will tell. Based on what we have so far, it's a book move, simply moving a pawn in return. White asks, would you be okay with sending pictures wearing certain hair accessories? And I really hope these pictures are not the sort I'm thinking of. If that's the case, I might have to resign the channel. Assuming they want normal pictures of hair products though, I'm calling this a good move for simply trying to get what they want. Black answers back with, maybe, if you purchase them, revealing this is a selling app and White has interest in these hair accessories. They have every right to want to see what they are purchasing, and Black is definitely in the wrong for making them purchase it before being allowed to see other pictures. This is text chess though, and sometimes being unethical is being good at the game, with this being one of those circumstances. Excellent move for trying to secure the bag. White seems annoyed and says, oh well, I can't do that, what do you have to wear? And now I'm confused, so I'll look at the last move before analyzing anything. Good move, I guess. Black responds, typical male entitlement. Why would I buy something just to wear it for you so you can fulfill some desire of yours? It's not a selling platform, what the f? So White wants Black to buy some hair accessories for the sole purpose of sending pictures making them obvious the bad guy in their last move a blunder. Black's response, on the other hand, is an excellent move for calling this out and not tolerating any disrespect. I hate male entitlement, and I am 6'5", by the way. You can contact me at my Discord, ladies. 18 plus, please. Next, White starts the game with, thanks for liking my photo, may I ask why you did so, like an absolute weirdo. Who the hell privately DMs people when they receive a like? That just isn't how social media works and comes out as creepy. Inaccuracy. Black explains, I was just liking people who looked cute, which is the typical answer and goes to show that White missed out on a Riz opening. Instead, they left the Riz to Black, who delivers with a great move, letting the opponent know their cute status and giving them a chance to make moves themselves. Instead of making moves though, White states, I'm flattered, taking the compliment well, creating no sort of attack, which does practically nothing for them in a mistake. It's usually the women who aren't interested who say shit like this, not people who actually want to drop some game. I'm disappointed, and I hope Bro's ancestors are too. What are you looking for? Trying to get some words of value out of White, Black plays a good move with an open-ended question holding all sorts of possibilities. Knowing White, we should expect their response to consist of 2 words, but it's still worth giving them a chance. Approximately $83,000. Can you help me out? Alright, who the f does this player think they're messaging? 83,000 euros is money that some of the wealthiest people around wouldn't give to random dating app match, and the expectancy is crazy. Unless Black is Paul McCartney or Elon Musk, White stands no chance of getting that 83,000 pesos, and the odds tell me that based on the profile picture, Black is none of the above. Holy blunder. Next, my most controversial opinion is I do not appreciate being objectified based on my physical appearance. Treat me like the goddess that I am. White makes a semi-controversial statement because the first part is completely valid, but not the second part. It's a bit entitled calling yourself a goddess and a straight inaccuracy. Many people on the platform would take offense to that rather than love it. I guess that's why it's a controversial opinion though. My controversial opinion is that people who still use letters to replace words like you instead of you need to be publicly executed at exactly 12 o'clock in the middle of the day tomorrow. Let me know if you agree. Black replies to such a statement by saying, based on your clause, I sentence you as a witch who will be burned on the stake. Burn. Other than the grade 3 standard grammar from Black here, the move as a whole hurts my brain. I have no idea how being a witch links to the statement at all, but the claw insult is funny. Overall, it's still a mistake though. White hits back with yawn, another man intimidated by good nails and big energy. Next, raising a valid concern his nails are very nice in the huzz, and calling them claws is outright wrong. Based on how Black described them, I just assumed she didn't cut them, but damn, calling them claws is invalid as shit, and this is a great move. If this is how women pat themselves on the back to live in delusion these days, holy yeah. Black ends the game and somehow checkmates themselves because ain't nobody listening to that waffle. Next, straight up, White just says, I want someone who's rich, and while honestly is the best policy, I don't think it can apply here. Showing off gold digger status as if you have money yourself is an embarrassing thing to do, period. Especially when you put it on your dating profile. I'm surprised someone actually responded to this entitled bitch inaccuracy. Black likes the answer, and I really hope it's for comedic effect rather than an actual desire to become White's sugar daddy. No matter what they meant though, White will still definitely see it as validation, which is a mistake on Black's part. As I guessed, White plays really send me money using absolutely no manners and expecting 10 bands to magically spawn into our bank account in a D1 blunder. You don't get free money as easily as this unless you hop on OnlyFans and rage bait people online as a marketing campaign. Hopefully, White doesn't go down that route, but it wouldn't surprise me. Luckily, they're too chopped to actually succeed. Next, we should grab drinks and eat apps is White's eager yet normal opening, proposing a potential date to their opponent and book a move. My only criticism is who the f uses apps as a slang? I'm gonna assume it means apples based on the context because I'm not sure about you, but I doubt bro wants to eat shit like Snapchat. Black shows interest by playing I like drinks and apps, validating White's date idea and encouraging him to advance the game beyond the chalking stage. On the surface, nothing should go wrong, but you're watching a Texas video, of course something is gonna go wrong. Back in the move itself, it's a good move and progresses the talking stage. White states, we have a lot in common, soon you'll be on my insurance, throwing the prospect of money into the situation way too quickly. If you have to offer insurance coverage to reel in a fish, then this is the bait really worth the catch. In simple terms, don't throw money at the huz because it's bound to end in heartbreak when you realize that's the only reason they're beside you. Good move. Black spots an opportunity and asks, do I get a credit card too? Asking the harmful questions now, and we just have to cross our balls hoping that White doesn't accept this because that would be simp behavior at its finest. Mistake. Of course you do. Of course, White plays the only blunder possible in this situation by giving their opponent complete consent to put them in more debt than they probably were during university. The second this girl gets her own hand in a credit card, she's going to be in the Louis Vuitton store speaking like she owns 67 businesses or something. It might be time to put it light on the credit card, buddy. Black continues their offense with, now we're talking, capturing White's queen and securing his fate as a broke man. I would feel sorry for him, but he invited the pressure, and at this point he deserves to be slapped with a checkmate. White continues feeding into this money sucker who thinks he has potential to be a diss sucker by explaining, we were already just talking blank, were you not paying attention, revealing that he's a little comedian with a cornball move. Maybe she might find it funny because she had green tinted shades on right now, but I guarantee you that no one laughed, you and me. If you laughed at this, honestly pause the video and take a minute to reflect on your life choices because reflection is necessary and I'll forgive you after that. Ah, he's a comedian too, good to know. Black gives the illusion that they give a shit about the joke with a great move. To her, the cost of hearing the man's F-tier humor is probably worth the credit card, so she has to laugh and I would too if the stakes were this high. She definitely has a straight face behind the screen though, and it's not because she's excited for the paycheck. Changing the conversation entirely, White hits back with, I have a number in my head, pick a number 1 through 5, and if this is another joke I'm ending it all. The channel, I mean. For now, I'll call it a good move because it could be setting something up. My expectations are 0. Black's choice is 2, and you guys should pick a number and comment to 2. Let's see if our little comedian can fool us too. Forced move. White compliments their line and explains, we're doomed, it was 4, IDK what other evidence we would need, with the most shit execution ever obviously rendering it as a mistake. It's so bad that I have to explain what happened. Basically, White thinks he's tough and was seeing if they chose the same number for compatibility. If you type 4 in the comments below, I genuinely feel sorry for you. With their green tinted shades slowly fading, Black explains, well, 2 by 2 equals 4, glass half full kind of girl over here, trying desperately not to lose her chances of getting a random dude's credit card. Desperation is usually pure oral loss, but in these dire circumstances, it's valid and I would be desperate to gold dig too, making it an excellent move. Go and secure that bag. White hits back with, I'm glad you can recognize that us being compatible would be a net improvement to our life. The real question is, would it? Yeah, it would make Black happy and be able to quit their job. What the f is it gain for White other than some paid company and probably the occasional sloppy toppy? That's why this is a rookie mistake and definitely not a net positive. Black tries to argue my points by replying, and I'd bring tons of those to yours, putting their offer on the table in return for money. If White was saying they would read this miss and realize money can bring more thrill than Black could ever provide, but unlike Black, White has rose-tinted glasses rather than green. White sets up the date with, let's grab drinks next week, securing his place in simp hell, and if he wants to be there, well done, but it's definitely not the best choice for his life and a blunder if he gives Black the win. Black takes it by saying I'm down and not only taking his credit card but also getting free drinks. She has absolutely finessed White with a brilliant move, and I guarantee you after one shopping spree, bro is getting ghosted hard. I also guarantee you that my merch will improve your chances with every girl you speak to, so make sure to visit techchess.store and give it a look. Also, make sure to like and subscribe while you're down below the video for more videos. Next, a Danielle smiling face is the simple opening from white, greeting their opponent with politeness and moving their first pawn in a book move. Literally anything could come out of this though, so there isn't really much to say. Black also mirrors their first pawn by shouting, "Hey," and someone's an eager beaver. This book move mirrors white's play perfectly, and the explanation point makes things sound very eager, which will likely fall off when they find out what white actually wants from them. White responds with, "Can I be frank with you?" setting up their question in a usual way, which goes down as a good move. Whenever someone's asked to propose or something like this though, it's usually batshit crazy, and this is about to live up to exactly that. Sure, black plays a boring move, letting white play whatever they want and sitting back in their comfortable armchair. Whether this will pay off or not, only white's next move can answer. "I'm not trying to date you or anything. I'm robbing a bank. I need an attractive female to distract an overweight guard that runs a night shift. Clothing will be provided. All you need to do is hold his attention for 15 minutes and 49 seconds. Are you in or out, Danielle?" White fails to include one key detail in their proposal, which is what's in it for black. I highly doubt she'll be able to dress provocatively and pretend to riz an overweight night guard for roughly 16 minutes if there's nothing in it for her, and that's also quite a high chance she doesn't want payment in stolen goods. What I will credit is that the time is very precise, so at least he has a plan, but who knows if it's good or not. It's only logical to label this as a criminal move for obvious reasons, because theft is a literal crime, unless you're stealing street signs. Next, inquiring about a product, White asks, "Is there an aux input or is it Bluetooth only?" Just looking for the details on a product they want to buy, which is perfectly normal and a good move. If anything, Black's a bit of a dick for not including this information on the listing. Black answers with Bluetooth only, doing what they can to sell the product. $50 is a lot of money, so holding peace and being a good salesman is needed to make any money here. Black plays a great move by calmly answering instead of carrying conflict. White creates the conflict for them and hits back with lame, pinning a high value piece to Black's king in a good move. On an ethical standpoint, White could have easily just said they weren't interested, but they understand the game and want to win, so they chose the option that's most likely to earn a checkmate. So many Texas players lose for being too nice. Trying to one-up White's insult, Black drops the literal F-slur, which you and I both know isn't cool and is actually a blunder. Not only does this paint him as an unlikable player, but if the Facebook admins see this, you bet he won't be silent speaker through them anymore. There were so many better insults to use here, and it's sad that they chose this one. Said the single Navy motherfucker with the animal profile picture. You see, this is how you respond to an insult and successfully parry it with a parry move. White has the right idea, and their insults have a much better effect, despite them starting the conflict and being the entitled one in the situation. It just goes to show how cooked you can be if you use a slur in Texas matches. Repeating their mistake again, Black drops the move, go suck a dick, and then of course they rinse and repeat the F slur. People like this have always been one slur in their vocabulary and don't know how to argue with anyone in any other way, which shows a big lack in intelligence. Ro is definitely a 0.3 GPA and will not be going to Harvard anytime soon. Even if they got good grades, their digital footprint is cooked anyway. Bet you sucked millions, LMAO, is White's absolute cinema of a response, using Black's own insult against him as a brilliant move. Rage bait this good is extremely rare, and anyone who reserves spirit off deserves to visit the White House and gain some sort of award. Falling for the bait, Black says, "Shut the fuck up, kid," and Rage quits the game, giving the win to White by resignation. I'm not sure about what you think, but in my humble opinion, it's not only the best choice to swear at someone and let them walk away with no ego. Not only is Black a shit at the game, but they're a pussy too. Next, Michael, because low-key I need that LMAO. "How did you get blank that nick for free? LOL, she told me." White is your average junkie, expecting on hunting their junkie inventory for free for no reason at all. Anyone who smokes is constantly playing a blunder, but trying to get free nick is a mega blunder, making it an outrageous move and the only right outcome. Black asks, "What do you mean?" acting oblivious to the situation, which they definitely aren't. They just don't want to give everyone free nick, which definitely wouldn't be nice in the bank account, and an excellent move for avoiding this. The best move would have been tricking them and saying yes but never delivering though. The geek bar is White's reply, revealing that this person didn't only receive free nicotine, but an entire geek bar. I don't really know what that is, but this is the most Sharva conversation ever, and geek bars need to be made extinct for obvious reasons. This might as well become a legitimate case study to prove it. White is desperate, and wouldn't be surprising if they got cancer when they're older for this blunder, as sad as that is. Black continues to act lost and hits back with "What about it?" forcing White to elaborate for even a slight chance of being given their hit for free. They're playing with White at this point, and you can't blame them. I'd be bored too if I was a nicotine seller constantly dealing with junkies like this. Regardless of their job, though, they play a great move here, deterring a cheapskate. White cuts to the chase and asks, "Can you get me one please?" clearly fed up with Black not understanding and wanting a yes or no answer like an expectant fiend. It gets to the point where you need to put the fries in the bag and call it a day, with this point definitely being that point for White if Black says no. You still owe me 25. Okay, this move from Black reveals so many plot holes. The audacity that White has to beg for free nicotine when they still owe that same supplier $25 is incomprehensible. Black plays a brilliant move to remind their opponent of this, and there's no chance of getting this money back because White resigns the game and goes off the grid. So long as they quit nicotine, this is the good ending. Next, White posts a story reading, "Hi, a lot of you guys are complaining that I don't open my DMs, slanted face. You should understand I'm a busy gal. I'd be happy. I open your DM for $5, $10 for a short conversation, and $30 for a temporary follow back. $0 and I'll even follow you back permanently." Okay, there's an app for this called OnlyFans, and adding paid DMs off that platform is insane. I would like White to publicly leak every man that has ever paid her for this service, because if anyone on this planet deserves to be publicly shamed, it's definitely them. If this turns out profitable, it's unfortunately a brilliant move, but if not, it's a blunder.
Welcome, Grandmasters and Grandmistresses, to the most beloved series of the channel. Let's jump into it. White starts off with, "You got a BF? Book move. It's a coin flip. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't." Black hits back with, "Yeah, good move, setting up boundaries and a good defense." White hits back with, "How big in inches?" Whoa, buddy, you can't just ask around for the size of people's joystick. Except me. I get an exception. Blunder. Black responds with question mark. Forced move. I would be confused too if I'm the one getting hit on. Or my boyfriend. White follows up with his how big? Gotta respect this Gooner's weird gambit though. He really wants that details. Get it? No? Okay. Another blunder. Black replies with, "LMAO, I haven't measured it. WTF. Excellent move. But who hasn't measured it yet? Everyone does. Yes, everyone." White shoots back with, wonder how I compare, LOL. Bro, give it up. You're scaring the huzz. It doesn't work like that. Let's say you actually have a bigger joystick than her boyfriend. She isn't gonna leave him magically to be with you. You're not me. Classic thinking with the other head. Blunder. Black hits back with, "Oh, are you gay?" There it is. She finally said what's all in our mind. Best move. White fumbles with, "LOL, no." Forced move. No way out. He's already exposed himself. He's not me. Black checkmates with, "Oh, you seem to be very interested in my BF's She used his own strategy against him to destroy him. Absolute cinema. Gooner down. Next. White opens with, "You sexy." Book move. This opening is on the lower tier list, almost a Gooner opening, but still decent enough. White continues, "Hey sexy." "How are you, sexy?" "Hey, how's it going?" "Going." Now this is a true Gooner. Most people just give up after getting ignored. This man kept coming after months after getting ignored. He even misspelled "going," probably typed that with one hand, using the other for, you know. Blunder. Black closed with, "You missed May. I can't have unreliable people in my life right now." Brilliant. This is just brutal. How does Black even think of this? This Gooner made the mistake of starting a match with a Grandmaster. Now, if you don't want me to miss an upload, hit that like and subscribe button, and also join the Discord in the description. Thank you. Now, for the next match. White starts with, "Send nudes." Textbook mistake. This type of Gooner opening rarely works. I mean, it works sometimes, but rarely. Black hits back with, "Nah." Excellent move. Instantly shuts down White's Gooner opening. White hits back with, "You don't say nah to me. It's an order, not a request. I want nudes, you'll get me nudes." White starts to throw tantrums after not getting nudes. Blunder. This is just scary. White doesn't know the meaning of consent. Black hits back with, "Nah, great move. Don't fix what isn't broken." Three-letter word that makes White rage. White responds with, "Shut up, bitch." Mistake. Black says, "Okay, bye." Excellent move. White finally developed enough brain cells to know he wasn't getting anything, but he couldn't just leave without calling Black a lame hoe. With this, Black won by checkmate. Pretty one-sided matches today. Next. White opens with, "Hi." Book move. Finally, some fucking normal opening. I missed these. Surely this is gonna be a normal match. Right? Right. White follows up with, "My can we talk?" Smiley face. Then sends a picture of their What the actual fuck is this? What even goes inside your brain when you send a picture of your eggplant to strangers? Or I guess in this it would be more like a baby carrot. Fucking blunder. Black hits auto reply. "We have detected the transmission of unsolicited pornographic images of potentially illegal nature, code 36489-A, and your device's IP address has been forwarded to the police department pending an investigation. If you think this is a mistake, reply STOP. This is just absolute cinema. This will scare away any low-level Gooner. What a phenomenal copy pasta. Brilliant. White, scrambling, replies with all caps, "Stop." Forced move. He's scared of the consequences of his action and is now crying like a pussy. White follows up with another "Stop." With this, White resigned. I want to feel bad for White, I really do, but he highly deserved this, not gonna lie. Next match. White opens with, "You're the slutty babysitter my wife hires when she goes out of town. Name is Scott or Mr. Henderson, 6'2", brown hair, blue eyes, athletic build, wearing jeans and a t-shirt." Oh no, it's one of these types of gooners. He probably watches too much porn thinking this shit would work. Oh buddy, blunder. Again, gooner openings never work. Too much risk. Black replies with, "My name is Shrek, or Green Legend. I'm 7'6" and I love eating eyes." Great move. Who doesn't love Shrek? Silly little guy. Big guy. Perfect counter. If White is going to come up with a fan fiction type of opening, Black also does. Black not answering? Fucking Shrekophobe. Another best move. Black matches White's energy, and White's raging boner probably faded away after getting hit with Shrek's defense. I mean, mine wouldn't. Next, White starts the game with, "So what do you mean?" Good move, probably asking about a questionable move Black made off screen or in a previous match. Black hits back with, "It's a rare disease. I need to see fresh girls without dress to be alive." Sad face emoji. "I want to see you without dress or I will die." Holy shit, this man invented a terminal illness just to see some play. Absolute brain rot. Blunder. White replies with, "Ha ha 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 ha, that's so funny. What's it called?" Sweet summer child, she thinks he's joking. She could have won the game, but she wanted to believe no player just would make that move seriously. Missed win. Black hits back with, "It's not joke, okay? Real disease. It's called anudicypedia. You can't find it on Google. Don't search." Now, I'm not sure if Black is dead serious or just trolling. Either way, inaccuracy. White asks, "What happens if I don't send you pics?" Best move. We are all waiting for Black's answers. Yes, we, me, and you. Black closes with, "My skin turned red and I will slowly puke blood and die. Just send, bitch." At first, he tried to stick to the script, but he got impatient and too horny and ditched it. I'll give it a blunder for not being as dedicated as these other gooners. Next, White opens with, "What color panties are you wearing?" Another D1 gooner. Bro is fiending for the color and would probably cut. Blunder. Black responds with, "Sugcon." Low tier bait. I wouldn't be surprised if the gooner falls for it, but I doubt it. Nobody is falling for this. Right? Book move. And yet, White walks right in with, "What color is that?" Mistake. This is what too much gooning does to a person. Losing basic common sense. This needs to be stopped. Black delivers the easiest checkmate of her life with, "Suck on these nuts." That trap doesn't work often, but when it does, it's brutal. Next, White leads with, "Let me, bust on them thighs." Another disgusting opener. An inaccuracy. He walked into the match with lotion in one hand and his shorts at his ankles. Black responds with devastating calm, "I'm an amputee." She drops a real-life curveball on this degenerate. A normal person would retreat, most would apologize, White is not either. Another best move. White closes with, "Let me, bust on them stumps." As much as I hate to say this, White actually won. He doubled down and stayed committed. He heard amputee and doubled down. White opens with, "Send tits." Another gooner opening. Another low effort one. Make it creative at the very least. Mistake. Black responds with, "Okay," and sends a picture of a bird. She didn't block, she didn't lash out, she sent him exactly what he asked for. The Paris Major, also known as a tit. Absolute genius, brilliant. White closes with, "What is a bird? Send tititis. No birth. Tit." His brain melted after getting perfectly parried. That made him panic. Black wins by checkmate. Next match. White starts with, "Hi, book move," a classic opener. Again, less is more. Sometimes these safe openings are enough. Black responds with, "Hey, who's this?" Also a book move. Finally, a normal match. Please, 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 I don't want to read any more of these gooned out messages. White escalates with, oh god, clears throat. It's Brandon from class, sweating profusely. I'm sweating profusely because I don't want to read this shit. He's role-playing in the third person. That's a bad sign. These types of players are all weird. Mistake. Black replies, I think you got the wrong number, haha. Black tried to be nice and kind towards White. Good move. Black spirals, looks down at ground, twirling thumbs. Shannon gave me your number, whatever that face is. I can already tell this guy watches anime and I just can't anymore, man. Put me out of my fucking misery. I don't even want to read the next message. I don't want to read the rest of them. Another mistake. Black responds with, "That's cool, but you have the wrong number. I'm a 25-year-old man. This should put a stop to the Gooner's advances. Hopefully. Nothing worse than being given the wrong number and it's a grown-ass man. Why would you even continue? Best move." White replies, Come on, it's Brandon from Econ. I asked Shannon for your number. Let's hang out. Hand itching to unzip pants. Jesus fucking Christ. What do you mean hand itching to unzip pants? This man is simultaneously role-playing as shy and horny. Pick one. Blunder. Black fires back with, Brandon, you have the wrong number. I'm not a woman. I literally have a mustache. Black give him a good warning. This time he is literally trying to save White from committing more blunders. What a gentleman. Excellent move. White sends a dick. Despite every single signal telling him he's sexting a grown man named Dave, he still continues. I wish I could give something worse than blunder, because blunder doesn't do this move justice. Black replies with an image of himself looking at the camera. I have no words. Best move. Although he should have blocked this weird ass Gooner a while ago, I still have no words. White then says no, and nothing else. Forced move. What else is the Gooner supposed to say? He sent this guy a dick pic, and he also roleplayed with him. Black ends the match with, yes, an easy checkmate. Next. White opens with, are you seemingly innocent but harboring a secret desire to be transformed into an obedient little Wow, just wow, an opening that sends you onto some kind of watch list. No punctuation either. My man was fiending to send this message. Blunder. Black hits back with, oh my, not quite transform into an obedient little but more like a violent little woman who wants to chop you, then skin you. Brilliant move. She didn't fold. She turned it into White's worst nightmare. Honestly, if White backs out, he's missing out. This is my type of woman. Or man if they were one. If you don't want your wiener to be chopped off, hit that like and subscribe button, and the Discord link is in the description waiting for you to click on it. Black follows up with, hello? ? Talk to me, you little shit. Man, here I am being a nice girl and you just ignore me? ? ! Fuck you, dude. She's now crashing out since White folded and ran around like a pussy, while I'm in here trying to get into Black's DMs. Great move, scaring White some more so he never does this to a poor opponent again. White finally responds, I think we have different interests. Yeah man, you wanted obedient roleplay and got threatened with getting your dick chopped off. First time in my life seeing a high elo Gooner getting absolutely destroyed. This is a good move. Black closes with, why would you say that? Talk to me, you cunt. Don't you dare leave me on red. Black's still crashing out, committed to the act. Maybe it's not an act. Maybe she's exactly like this. Either way, Black wins by checkmate. Next, White opens with home sweet home, smiley face. Best move. They were probably out on a date and are now home from the said date. Swear to God, please be a normal match. Black replies with, good, you sleep well. Oh my God, I think we finally have the normal match we've been looking for. Best move. This match is flowing smoothly. Just continue the momentum and this is a clean match. White hits back with, you too. Kind of a boring response, but this fucking works. Good move. White responds with, great kisser by the way, ! Smiley face. Great move, finally escalating the match without creepy remarks. I was so used to people being Gooners, I was expecting White to say, great panties by the way. Black replies with, thank you, which is a good move. This is a good conversation and it's flowing well. I'm honestly really surprised. White closes with, Jesus fucking Christ bro, why? Why the fuck would you sabotage yourself like this? Can't wait for more, I'm just laying down it. You were homebound, she was interested in one more, but you just had to ruin it with your a missed win if I ever fucking saw one. Just had to be normal, and he failed. White opens with, nice cat pic. Wanna see my chicken pic? Fucking Gooner, I'm so tired of you people. We're gonna have some high elo games today. Not really. White kicks things off today with, I'd love to take you skydiving, which is a great move. Honestly, this opener is so strong, it might either secure the win or send him crashing. Black responds with, gonna be honest, I'd rather permanently line my flooring with loose Legos than go skydiving. Brilliant move. Completely shuts White down and leaves him lying there like one of the Legos. White responds with LMAO, which is a blunder. You can practically feel the desperation and the tears hiding behind those extra O's. Black follows up with, like I'd rather take a razor scooter to the ankle every day for the next month. Damn, we get it. You hate skydiving. This is just bullying at this point, kicking White while they're already down. I'm giving this move a blunder. And then Black goes in for the overkill with, I'd rather shave my head, and that's saying a lot. I definitely could not pull off bald. This is just sad now. Tripling down on an already defeated opponent is just unnecessary. I'm calling this a mistake, and if you don't want all your hair to fall off, make sure to fill out the form in the description and like and subscribe. Thank you. White comes back with, okay, would you rather be eaten out and have your legs shaken while watching Netflix on a king-size bed with a glass ceiling so you can look at the stars at my place, or go skydiving? I'm calling this a blunder. Just let it go, brah. It's over. He should have conceded 5 moves ago. Black then responds with skydiving. Brilliant move. You gotta give it to Black for their sheer brutality at this point. White wraps it up with, okay, I gotta go skydiving to shout my lungs out now. Bye. I'm giving this a good move because he accepted defeat. Honestly, I do the same, but I secretly hope my parachute fails. On to the next Tinder match. By the way, all matches today are on Tinder. It's my favorite. White opens with, God damn, you put the sexy in dyslexic. This is an excellent move. A unique opening like this will make a lot of people respond and not just ignore it. I sure as shit wouldn't. Black responds with, thanks. This is a book move, a boring-on move. I'd rather watch paint dry than talk to this type of person. White responds with, no problem, smiley face. This is also a book move. This match is basically over given how bad Black is. Black hits back with, I'm dyslexic, so that shit's not funny. This is a blunder. It could have been a joke, but I doubt it based on Black's previous moves. White closes with, HOHSITYMBDA. This is a brilliant move. White talks to Black in words that they could understand. Absolute masterclass. Moving on to the next match. White starts with, yep, you have nice eyes. Good luck in looking. This is a good move. Nothing special, but it gets the job done. Solid and respectable. Black hits back with, thank you. You look nice as well. Shame you so fat. Blunder. This is an equivalent of an easy win, but you misplaced your queen and left it hanging. Absolute disaster. Black follows up with a correction. Far. I'm giving this a mistake. There's no coming back from that earlier blunder. White has probably already left the chair and is halfway home by now. This next match is still on Tinder. Before I continue, you're also still here, so hit that like button for me and subscribe. Thank you. White opens up with, hey, how many dudes use your first name as a pickup line? This is an excellent move. Seeing the name Juana, there are a lot of possibilities for openers. This is a breath of fresh air for Black. Black replies with, I lost count, haha, so many, which I'll give a good move. It's nothing special, but it's solid. White replies with, and does it ever work? This is also a good move, keeping the conversation flowing and showing interest. Then Black says, sometimes, haha, depends on the pickup line. Also just a good move. Decent match so far, just extremely boring. Then White hits back with, alright, I got one. I want to eat your ass. Wait, fuck. Juana, I want to eat your ass. Jesus Christ, blunder. White must have been on a losing streak for them to be this thirsty, or I guess hungry. Next match is up with someone named Alexandria. White opens up with, girl, you're so pretty, I'd jerk off your dad just to see where you came from. What the I don't know about this one. It's funny, but just straight unhinged and will scare the hoes. Blunder. Black hits back with, my dad is dead. This is a best move. This might make White think about what he said and apologize, unless White is a complete gooner. Surely he isn't, right? White closes with, daddy issues. Perfect. I'll give it to him for maintaining the same energy until the end. A great move. Alright, next match with someone named Carly. White opens up with, you're not allowed to be cute and smart too. It's very unfair to all the other boys. This is a great move. A strong opening with a high win rate. Black responds with, joke's on you. I'm actually a dumbass. Blunder. At the very least, Black is honest. Fucking dumbass. White closes with, damn, I just got pranked. This is a good move. Pretty hard to respond to that revelation by that Black. Okay, moving on to the next match. White opens up with 9 out of 10 would smash, make you breakfast in the morning, have shower sex, then take you out to lunch. This is a good move. A little bit forward, but it has substance and might work. Hopefully. Black responds with, not sure what to say about that. This is also a good move. I also wouldn't know what to say to that, to be honest. I guess Black and I have something in common. White hits with, OMG, I'm so flattered. Here's my number, come over and have your way with me. Any variation of those, TBH. Blunder. This just reeks of desperation, and this is just sad to read. White closes up with, PLS. Not even a please. This is just your textbook gooner. Like, bro, it cannot be that good for you to be begging another. Blunder. Embarrassing. Next. Out of the gate, White has super liked Madison. This isn't a good sign. Probably another gooner. Let's see. White opens up with, hi, wow, you're hot, and I love your cat. Honestly, a good opener. I'll give it a best move. Funny and mentioning their pet. Smart. Black responds with, I thought you were supposed to fall in love with me, not my cat. I'll give this a mistake. White's opening was good enough and didn't need any repeats. White responds with, shit, can I try again?
This is an excellent move. A good chance to redo it and impress Black. Surely he'll make it a lot better. Right? Black replies with one more chance, which is a good move. White hits Black with, "Hi, wow, your cat is hot, and I love you." White was given the shot and he airballed badly, not even close. Blunder. White opens up with, "Since I'm German, my sausage is one of a kind," which I'll give a best move. Bold and could work, and not overly unhinged like those other gooners. I meant players. Black responds with LOOOOL, well played, which I give a good move, showing they're interested in keeping up with playing with White. White replies with, thank you, give me a word/topic and I'll make a pickup line out of it. This is also a great move. He's willing to play any hand or strategy given by Black. Hopefully, White keeps going with his momentum. Black hits him with Parrot, which I'll give a good move. A little bit hard, but still not impossible. Kinda like my... White responds with, damn girl, are you a parrot? Which I'll give a book move. A good format and strategy he chose. He just gotta stick the punchline. Then White closes with, because I can already hear you screaming my name repeatedly throughout the night. Oh brother, seen and probably reported to authorities for harassment and assault. Blunder, another Gooner down. This next Tinder match is with someone named Ellie. White opens with pancakes or waffles. Finally, a breath of fresh air, no more of those weirdos and their openers. I'm giving this a book move, a bit plain, but sometimes it's all you need. Black responds with, fantastic opening line. Can I honestly say I'm impressed? I'm giving this a good move. I don't know if they're being sarcastic or actually like this plain opening. I don't actually know how to talk to women. White replies with, no, it would be more impressive? This is a good move. Might be plotting something good. Black responds with, what would that be? This is a forced move. This is the only move you can make. No other way out. Just walk straight to the setup. White closes with answering the simple fucking questions. Brilliant. Absolute cinema. We didn't need all that yapping from Black. Just answer the damn question. Pancake or waffles? If it's up to me, pancakes are better. Next. White opens up with, hey, love your hair, man. It's sick. This is an excellent move. A flattering compliment always works most of the time. Black replies with, peg me till I'm in a wheelchair, mommy. This is just a straight up scary at this point. This Gooner epidemic needs to be studied and stopped. Blunder. White closes with, good fucking god. Best move. I wouldn't respond and just leave, but hey, this is the same thing. This next match is with someone named Liana. White opens up with, hey, book move. Black responds with, hey, how are you? Also a book move. Someone hopefully spices things up. This is putting me to sleep. White replies with, good, how are you doing? Then Black responds with, good, thanks, and you? You know what, maybe I treated these Gooners too harshly. I'd rather gouge my eyes out than read conversations like this. Fucking hell. White responds with, good, and you? Then Black responds with, good, thanks. Then White closes with, good. Absolute snooze fest. I fell asleep reading these. My editor's probably in a coma. Moving on to the next one. White opens up with, are you Lightning? Because I want to make you my queen. Then he sends a picture of Lightning McQueen. If the two messages weren't enough already, this is a mistake. Black closes with, hi, obviously I'm no longer interested in communicating with you after that message, but I'm writing to let you know entirely for your own sake that you need to do better or no girl will ever seriously reply to you. This is just brutal. He straight up murdered White. But this is a much needed reality check and would help White with his life lesson. Brilliant move. White opens up the game with total MILF, period. Which is a creepy way to call a woman you have never spoken to pretty, making it an immediate inaccuracy. Black hits back with a gif saying, MILF, 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 with 3 exclamation points, and this mother is strangely enthusiastic about the MILF title. We can only pray that her children don't see this because they will be traumatized. This is still a good move in terms of Riz though. You like young guys with big cocks? Question mark is White's response, and this guy is the biggest liar on the planet, making it a mistake. We all know their third head is not big, and if their nose acted like Pinocchio's, it would be bigger than it. Black replies asking, absolutely, exclamation point. You like MILFs with fat asses, question mark, which is very, very weird. You can't go around saying absolutely to questions about liking young guys. It's creepy and you're just asking for a court case. This resulted in Black being checkmated. Welcome grandmasters and grandmistresses to analyzing Gooner wins like games of chess. In our second game, White starts us off with the Vampire's Gambit and sends Bite Me in fully caps. This is forceful and a bit too much for the opening, making it an inaccuracy, but if Black turns out to be into this stuff, then the game is still in White's hands. Black responds with, like, literally, question mark. I mean, I'd be down for that. Really happy emoji, and something about the emoji screams that Black is a raging virgin who is desperate for some action. This is not what you want the hus to think, so it's a mistake. White hits back with, I like your thinking, blank daddy. And since both players are on the same page with this stuff, it is a great move. But Black decides to show off his virgin status even more in the next message by saying, you gotta know I'm autistic. I cannot pick up on whether you're f***ing with me or not, crying emoji, which is incredibly corny. This guy has been shown so little love that his mind won't let him believe he's receiving it. It's quite sad really, and a blunder, and I cannot relate. I'm not joking, I have a lot of kinks, and one of them is you, is White's next move, which is an excellent move and some inspirational riz. Black must have the body of a Greek god to have a woman this obsessed with him, despite how bad he is at text chess. He's still got nothing on me though. Damn, you got me fanning my face and kicking my legs. Black could not be doing himself any less justice here. They better hope that none of their homeboys see this, because if I caught one of my friends sending this message, I'd give them the nastiest back shots for it. Insane blunder.
White closes the match with, you got me wet, which ends the game with a quick checkmate. If Black can make a girl wet, then anybody can.
No, that's too far. But that's enough with that game, because this next one starts with, hey, with two Y's, double smiling face, which is a book move from White that starts things off nice and friendly. Black responds with, are you a parking ticket, question mark, because you've got fine written all over you.
This has gotta be a mistake, considering it's just obvious that it's overused and overdone.
White next replies with, are you a pilot, question mark, because you're pretty fly, cool emoji, which is almost as dog shits as Black's riz. Wait, there's more. Turn on the TV, exclamation point, exclamation point. They hit the f***ing pentagon, exclamation point, which is a move that even I was unable to predict. White's pickup line absolutely mogs Black's, making this a brilliant move. Unfortunately, Black was unable to comprehend such riz and hits back with what, which is an inaccuracy. How uneducated do you have to be to not understand that? What an airball. You have to be educated though, because you're still watching this video, which is smart. And in our next game, White kicks things off with, you have the prettiest eyes ever, which is a great move and is so wholesome that I almost forgot this video was about Gooners. This opening is meta and has a very high win percentage, but sometimes matchmaking doesn't do you justice. Black is a prime example of this and replies with, thanks, smiling face. I'd let you hit it BTW, handheld emoji, and the switch up is crazy. Bro switched things up more than Ava Chris Tyson in 2023, and this is the first blunder of the video. It's so terrible that it scared White into resigning and ending the game in just 2 moves. The next one will be longer though, just like another long thing here. Anyways, White begins with a weird opening by saying, hi hun, need to steal your wardrobe, which is a miss because Black is not here to sell a wardrobe. This is not Facebook Marketplace, and I would be highly confused if I received this message on Tinder. It is likely a pickup line though, so let White cook. Black responds with, only after I steal you, exclamation point, question mark, which is an excellent move considering the limited responses to such a shit opening from White, who replies with, smiley, crying emoji, where are you planning to me? Take. And this just proves how good Black's riz was. It was so fucking next level that White can't even use their keyboard anymore from pure shock. This is a good move though, because it allows Black to drop some more game. Black takes the opportunity and hits back with, I'll tie you in my basement, dash. I mean, probably a nice cafe, nervous giggle emoji, and I hope this dude feels the most embarrassed he has ever felt in his entire fucking life. Blunder. No woman wants to be tied in a basement by someone they just met online. TBH, I was down for the first plan. You had me at tie. Holy shit, it actually worked. Black made the biggest gambit ever and it paid off, checkmating White and securing the hus. If you want to start securing hus though, make sure to subscribe and join the Discord with the link in the description. With that said, let's move on to the next match. White opens the match with, when are you inviting me over, question mark, which is a bold book move that gives off a lot of confidence. I like it. Black gets back with, IDK, are you going to let me be in charge if I do? And this woman clearly thinks she is me. Only I can demand to be in charge because I'm literally him, so this is an inaccuracy. White isn't going to be pushed around so easily and replies with, only if you empty my balls in your mouth, which escalates this shit way too fast, making it a blunder. Slow down, buckaroo, at least buy her some real food to eat before giving her your built-in meal. I take that back, it's probably more of a nibble. Anyway, Black responds with, what's with the super sexual texting? And as I said, White did take it a bit too fast, so this is a great move from Black and hopefully kills White's confidence. That would be the dream, probably a wet dream, but it won't happen. You love it. This guy's ego is bigger than mine, Jesus Christ. He's more confident than Ryan Reynolds, and I bet he isn't half as attractive because Daddy Ryan is hot. This move from White is inaccuracy because if they're rizzing people up online, then they most definitely don't have the looks to back up this confidence, unlike me. Black closes the game with "You are so funny," which is a great move as it successfully secures White, who I would call the Huz, but they come under a different category, a successful D1 Gooner with confidence. But he is nowhere near as low elo as the player in this next match, who lost without their opponent making any moves. White starts things off with, "Are you Chinese? 'Cause I'm trying to get your number." And I really don't get these dumbasses who think pickup lines actually work. They got patched in 2017. Nowadays, everybody knows that people just find them on social media rather than inventing them with their own minds. Blunder, but this is only the beginning. Black hits back with, joking, they don't hit back with anything. White double messages a full day later and says, "I'm trying to get in Japanese," which is so fucking shameless. There are billions of fish in the sea, but White is so desperate to touch a woman that he had a plan B. It's unfortunate that his parents' plan B failed. I didn't know 2 blunders in a row was a possible combination, but this guy just proved me wrong with a serious blunder. 3 hours later, though, Black strikes one last time and sends, "Will you bang my c-?" And I have no choice but to grade this as a criminal move. This despicable human being needs a restraining order that comes into effect immediately, or White could just block him, that would probably be easier. Luckily, Black stops being a shameless dickhead, which brings us to the next game that begins with, "Sorry, stupid question, slight frown. Octopi just look so much scarier than octopuses to me, ... And this opening from White is one only used in matches with the lowest elo. If you have to goddamn apologize in advance for a message, then there is absolutely no excuse for sending it. This question makes 0 sense, making it a mistake, but not quite a blunder as it is the first move. Surprisingly, Black responds with, "No, not a stupid question. Pie is much more scarier than puss." And I'm quite happy for this potential couple and all, but come on. No way they turned the plural form of octopus into an actual conversation on a dating app. For the sake of the situation, this is a good move though. White then replies with, "Both taste good," smirking face. Absolute cinema. This is a brilliant move and nobody can convince me otherwise. I thought that White was a dumbass talking about octopi, but they had a plan in mind and it paid off when Black responded with, "Lucky for you, I have a puss and I like to bake pie," which is a good move and ends this insane game. Now this next match, White starts the game with the classic opening by saying, "Are you more of an introvert or an extrovert?" This opening instantly keeps things light and friendly, also inviting Black to share more things about themselves. This match seems to be of a slightly higher elo. Black hits back with, "Normally introvert, but for you, I would get on the Walmart intercom and scream 'I love you.'" And I almost shed a tear, which is rare because I never cry. It's rule 1 of being an alpha. This is an excellent move because despite being an introvert, they openly said that they would leave their comfort zone just to show their love, and that is a huge green flag for women. Hold up, why the hell are things becoming wholesome? Let's move back to some real gooners. But first, make sure that you subscribe to Text Chest and like the video to up your texting elo. "Your name backwards is hilarious," is the opening from White, and they're messaging someone called Marissa. This is an excellent move because I wouldn't even realize how funny my opponent's name backward is. Black responds with, "I don't get it, explain," which is a miss. At least they asked White to explain it though, because they would be missing out if they didn't. Get it? Missing out? Anyways. White delivers their almighty punchline and says Mar-I-SSA period. You can read it backwards. That goes for you guys watching the video too. I found this pretty fucking hilarious, so I'm gonna give it a trophy move, but maybe I'm just immature. I think the fact that this is original and hasn't been used before plays a big part in the high analysis. The closing move from Black is LMFAO. Maybe you'll need to explain in person, which is a huge recovery from the previous miss and a brilliant move. I better be invited to the chair for this ass ramming session. I'm joking, of course. Or am I? Next game, White opens the game with the like and hike opening, which basically means liking someone's profile and then not saying a word. I despise people who play this opening, so despite it officially being a book move, I'm calling it a blunder. Black replies saying, "SMH, didn't even hit me with a good pickup line, rolling eyes emoji." And this is a perfectly reasonable concern. If somebody like and hiked on me, then I would slice and dice them personally, but I guess Black's idea of calling them out is enough to make it a good move. White decides to not be a bitch and actually puts in effort by saying there's 20 letters in the alphabet, which is more likely than the beginning of a very shitty pickup line, but at least she's trying, so I'll call it a good move. Black entertains the pickup line with, "Well, Elizabeth, where did the remaining 6 go?" before following up with, "I'd love to hear." And the attitude on Black here is absolutely crazy, and I love it considering the opponent, so it is a great move. I forgot you are a QT. Okay, what is this? Every time someone in these videos uses a pickup line, I always end up wanting to press Alt F4 in real life, and this line hits the same, so it is a blunder. How many times do I have to say that only low elo players do this shit, and gooners like you guys watching? I mean, I know you're gooning right now. Black then hits back with, "Despite it not adding up to 26, I'll let it slide, because you are a QT yourself." And I didn't even notice that White's pickup line didn't make mathematical sense, making me lose even more respect for her. This is an inaccuracy from Black, because why would they want to date someone with the IQ of a donut? Although, you know what you can do with a donut. Anyways, White closes the game with one of the best recoveries ever and sends, "Hey, hey, hey, I just wanted to save the D for later," and then ends another text saying, "Emotional, emoji, best for last, YK," which is a brilliant move. White got the math wrong on purpose just to execute Black with his stunning checkmate attack. I must say, I'm inspired. I can't say the same for the next game though, as even the opening move is cooked. White starts us off with, "Damn girl, are you a derogatory term? Because you look very special to me." And I have one piece of advice for White and all the other low elo Rizzlers out there. Especially you. Please don't use edgy or dark terms around people you have never spoken to before. You can't be too sure of how strict they are with stuff like that, because of this opening being a mistake like the person who wrote it. Black hits back with, "Wow, period," showing they are not a fan of this humor. I mean, they are a reasonable human being for this. Good move. White then acts as if what they said was perfectly normal and says LOL, which is a blunder. Imagine laughing at your own jokes. It's an embarrassing move. I'm an exception, but even I wouldn't do this in front of the Huz. I don't even know what to say, ... I mean, that's borderline not cool, but also ballsy, and nothing about saying the R slur is ballsy. People on Call of Duty drop N-bombs daily, but that doesn't make them ballsy, that just makes them weird. This is a blunder from Black, who had their game in their hands. White takes this as a validation to give another crazy pickup line and replies with, "Call me an Asian star because I'm all balls," which is literal racism and another blunder in this game. If Black didn't like the first pickup line, then they most definitely won't like this one. White needs to learn from their mistakes, and it's a core rule in text chess, like being subscribed. And for the last match, White starts with, "I've been told kissing curly brunettes keeps you healthier, period. Is that true? It's corny, but it's sweet in a sense. I can see this shit working on your average low elo woman, but it could go either way really, so it has to be a good move." Black responds saying, "Not sure, let's test and see," and I love this response. It's perfect for White, who probably started punching his gooning hand in the air after reading it. Generally, it was smooth and flirtatious, making it an excellent move and a deserving one for sure. White then takes this as a green light to make a crazy play and responds with, "Number and address then? White saw their opportunity and they went for it. There is no way they won't get the number, but the address is likely too early. For all she knows, they might be a wannabe P. Diddy. Good move, but without the address part, it would be excellent. But there is a twist. Black closes the game with "yes to my number," and then her number followed up with "no to the Addy RN, LOL, #safety YK," and this right here is a smartass woman making it a brilliant move.